So yeah, we're gonna do a entirely Chiefs podcast. That's all we're gonna talk about is Chiefs stuff and how awesome the Chiefs are.
And go.
Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon or Mulus on the forum.
And this is Parker. Go by Dr. Mantis Toboggan MD on forums.
This is Jeremy. I changed mine recently. I just go by. It only takes me 13 seconds. Fucking deal with it.
I love those jokes. My favorite not a Chiefs one, but my favorite one was like I had sex for an hour and 40 seconds last night. Thanks, daylight savings. So good.
Oh my god.
I like that one a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, some quick announcements today. Parker, I'm gonna go outside my comfort zone and do you a favor here.
What?
I'm gonna count today as 2 probationary episodes because you were here before Jeremy.
Hey!
I think we'll make this a thing going forward. If you're here, if you're logged in, ready to go before Jeremy, I'll count it as a double episode.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he's down to 976 now.
That's fair.
Parker, you still are in debt 11 of the pizza rollies.
Yeah.
And you can't say the words pineapple blade or antiquing, or this other word that is yet to be named, which is being used as an asterisk at the moment. So there's a secret word that you don't know that you can't say.
Okay. Have
Ye
you
shall
guys been
not
able to
say.
confer yet? Does it exist?
We have not, but I just thought of what it's going to be.
Okay.
So I'm going to message it to Jeremy right now. All right, Jeremy, check your inbox.
Okay.
That's the word he can't say. So keep me honest.
Okay.
For right now, we'll
Got
just
it.
mark it with this little asterisk, and then
Okay.
after that, we'll put it in with the actual word.
Which on the keyboard? Which one is the asterisk?
I don't know. Where is it?
What's the?
It's above the 8.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Parker, it's your segment.
All right, so it's time for news. Let's get some news. All right. So big heap of news today.
I mean, remember that time we had News-a-Palooza?
Yeah.
This is not even going to compare.
Not even sort of. It's
It literally cannot.
minuscule compared to that. We're being facetious. This is a very weak news day. Weak.
Yeah, weak news.
So our weak news today, actually, I had to fish this from the gutter because I looked all over for something new. But I found something that if you were on Facebook, you could blow right by it. But they posted a picture of some random mutant models and said, "Hey, did you know these are all X-Force models?" And if you paid close attention, you realize that it's not just the ones already listed on the affiliation card. So confirmed. The X-23 and Honey Badger will be X-Force members, along with Colossus that's coming out new. So we know those will be the Colossus. We know that'll be the X-Force affiliation members. We do not know if that's the extent of them that will be printed, but there will be an affiliation update. They said the first week of February in this same thread. So Atomic Mass Games confirms an affiliation update. We assume it'll be for all of the mutants that are coming out, kind of within the same month or two of each other. But maybe we'll see the shield included in that, but we'll see.
I'm pretty sure it'll basically be for all the models coming out in the coming month or two, which is going to be the newer mutants and probably shield.
Yeah.
Also maybe Shadowlands. Who knows?
Yeah, there might be a Shadowlands. We might see that. I think we already imagined that Honey Badger and X-23 were going to go in there. Honey Badger was a little bit more maybe because she's only been an X-Men member that I know of. I don't know if she's actually a member of X-Force in any titles. But this makes X-Force officially the Super Regeneration faction. Oh my god. How many regenerators can we regenerate?
Who officially is in? I haven't seen the picture.
So the picture is the original ones, which was Sabretooth, Cable, Wolverine, Deadpool, Domino. And the ones that have been confirmed added are Colossus, which we already knew from the affiliation list a long time ago. He was added to that. And X-23 and Honey Badger.
Okay, so basically just the 2 new ones that were pretty obvious. Okay.
Right. But that means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of its members now are the regenerating and
Yeah.
3 of them are the ones that regenerate too. So X-Force is really regenerating a lot. What I really hope for is another X-Force card, because the X-Force faction cards are meh. The super stealth one is cool-ish, but
Yeah, the other 2 are not good.
yeah, they're bad.
Yoink is kind of funny, and Chimichangas is kind of funny.
But they're both those are Deadpool cards. They're not X-Force cards.
Yoink isn't X-Force?
It's a Deadpool card.
But so what is it? It's just the
one that lets
assassinate one?
The one that you have to kill the highest member of their team, and it gives everybody power.
Yeah, which is like, but it costs 3 power to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one is the deploy plus, or place range 2 from deployment, but can't move.
Yeah.
That just seems not good. Have we actually tried it on the table to see if it's relevant?
I haven't tried it because it's exactly only for Cable, right? Or somebody else,
like.
or it even has to be an X-Force member. It can't even be somebody else who can place.
Yeah, that was the thing that really got me. What's it called? Do you remember?
Cat and mouse.
No, is it?
No, is it? That sounds right. Yeah, it is. Well
shit,
done.
It is cat and mouse.
Look at him.
Good call.
Look at Jeremy with the deep pockets.
And I know, man.
An X-Force character placed within 2 of its current locations. Character cannot make a move. Cannot move more than once this activation. So you still get to go. So if you have a speed longer like Sabretooth, you could place him, move long, and pick up an extraction, but then you wouldn't be able to use your second action.
Yeah, anyway. It doesn't do anything, yeah.
Yeah, somebody would have to be there first. Oh, I guess if it was a secure point, you could wait for them to activate and contest it, and then you could move long and punch them.
Right.
That would be an option. Still doesn't seem worth a tactics card.
There's already so many ways in this faction to jump out and get somebody first turn.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of turn 1 damage done by X-Force. So I guess if you really wanted to double down on it and have a lot of, even a little bit more. But also, unlike the other ways that you're going to do damage, this is not hidden. It's really obvious who's going to, it happens after deployment. Yeah. So, your opponent can go, okay, well, they're right there.
Yeah. Cable doesn't need it, though, right? Because he can place 2 by himself?
So, yeah.
Does he get enough range just doing that?
Yes.
Is it not a problem?
He hits past range, the midpoint. With this, I could do the math, but with that big of a base and the fact that he could move and place 2 and then shoot, I bet he could shoot rear deployments. So,
yeah, with a big 5 dice attack.
Yeah. I love that Cable just spends 2 to double tap first turn very often, but the reason why he gets to do that is, generally speaking, they don't know when he's going to do that. He can, so he can do that when he wants to. With this, it really is. It's you telegraphing.
Spending a tactics card. I'm trying to think. The only thing I can think of is Deadpool getting to double bang first turn, and that's so random that who cares, right?
Yeah. Domino could rapid fire. That's not nothing.
But can she? It's range 3, right?
Yeah, if she moves once, she could definitely range 3.
But you could do that if you move once anyway, right?
Actually, on a medium move,
small 3.
If they're behind, I've played a lot of rapid fire recently. So if they're behind,
if they're max away.
Yeah, if they're max away, I don't know if you make it. Maybe you do. I'd have to check it out.
We'll have to measure that. Jeremy, can you go measure that real quick?
Yeah, I just did it. I don't care. I think the thing
did it, and I don't care.
You're talking about something that doesn't fucking matter at all. It doesn't.
We need Jake. We need Jake to check.
Fucking is stupid.
Yeah, Jake would put this shit down real fast.
He would have already done it.
I don't have my tools here. They're in my car, or else I would go check.
I have it right now. I have it right here behind me. Do you really want me to find out?
Go check.
Okay.
Yeah, go check.
I'm going to find out. Fuck it.
Is 3 plus 3 plus medium plus small equal to 9 plus 1.5? All right. While he's doing that, let's talk bad about him. Jeremy, you go first.
Oh. He
smells bad.
Deplorable.
He smells bad.
Just awful. Terrible human being,
he's a terrible dresser.
The thing about him,
he's wearing he can't hear us, but we can see him because he's on his webcam. He's wearing track pants and a t-shirt. What an idiot!
I just can't believe how many kids he has tied up back there. That's really weird.
I'm surprised that you can't hear the children screaming in the background.
But he is a teacher.
Behind noise-proof glass.
Do you think teacher is actually just a quote unquote he is the teacher? It's
He wears a lot of leather for being an actual school teacher.
I can hear you guys. I'm back. What?
You can hear us now, but you didn't hear the worst parts.
Oh, good. I'm glad I
My
was
favorite
spared.
is every podcast, he has the camera on and we watch him climb
Yeah.
out of a box.
Like grudge style.
Oh, yeah.
Parker, it looked like you were pacing it out on the floor because you kept walking back and forth. I thought you were trying to pace it out on the floor. I was like, Parker, that's not how this
I'm
works.
pretty sure
You
my
can't measure
foot
measure it by
is
foot.
a size 4, a range 4. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this really bad mole on my left big toe is exactly range 3.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't do that.
Did it work?
I'm getting her done.
All right, because remember, you have to put the objective down, so it's half an objective width,
Yeah, I got
plus
that.
1, plus 9, and then you're using 3 and 3 and medium and 2 base widths.
Yeah, I got it.
to get
I got
there.
bases out.
Yeah.
If you align just barely, no terrain, and you're right in front of it, and they're right behind it, yeah, you get them. So you don't
You get them without having to place.
Yeah, you don't need the cat and mouse.
What does this card do?
I don't know. By the way, that would be like if there's nothing in your way, you don't have to sacrifice movement anyway. But that's it. Having this in your 10 for that scenario.
But this isn't even like an accident though, because there's gonna be, generally speaking, it's extremely rare that you're not gonna have one of the secure objectives on the center line that has an unobstructed path, right?
Right.
That's very rare.
Right.
And maybe one of them will be obstructed, maybe 2 of them, but all of them being obstructed is pretty rare. Assuming that also half the time you're going to get to pick side. So you just deploy directly across from it, max distance, and your opponent has to not contest it, which you're fine with.
I wonder,
like, if you get to double move and take the point, who cares?
I wonder, Colossus is a medium mover, isn't he? Or is he short?
He's a medium.
Because if
He's a medium base.
is he a medium
I'll
move?
check.
I was trying to wonder if Colossus could move and attack.
He's a speed short.
Oh yeah, shit. That doesn't even like. I was trying to think, does he get to move and attack somebody? So he'd be in their face, but he's a protector. Like he should be bodyguarding. So I don't know.
What about Wolverine? What if Wolverine place 2, moved medium, attack 2? Does that get in? That's the exact same range as the domino measurement. So yes, it would allow Wolverine to attack on the first turn.
No, it doesn't, because it's range 3 from Rapid Fire is range 3 from Domino.
Yeah, but if you use cat and mouse, then 2 2s is equal to 1 3. It's the only direct equivalent distance.
Yes, there you go. Yes,
Yeah.
Wolverine.
So
Could
if
do
you
that.
use
Uh-huh.
deploy 3 directly across from a center objective, your opponent moves up and takes the objective. You can, and assuming you have already cat and moused, he
Mhm.
could move medium, attack range 2.
Yes, although to be fair, my favorite move is actually doing no matter the cost, and then you can just Berserker Barrage range 1.
Sure,
first
I
turn
agree,
also.
but we're talking about tactics cards either way here.
Right. But I mean,
So you do both.
But Berserker Barrage is also useful some other time. If you didn't get to
Sure.
or didn't want
Yeah.
to do that, you could do it some other time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you not only get to place and then possibly throw them. So if it's a secure objective, you can clear them off and take it. That's huge. It's
Right.
way better than cat and mouse.
Yes.
So I'm agreeing that it's a terrible card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I would agree they definitely need some better cards. Any affiliation that has X in the title seems to have the worst fucking cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Pretty Sneaky Sis is not horrible. I've seen it. I've seen it like give my opponent distress, but it doesn't.
It's very different on an affiliation that has a bunch of people with charge versus an affiliation that sits back and does nothing.
Right.
So like the criminal version is better because their characters want to play into it, and the X-Force characters generally want to charge you, so it doesn't do a lot.
Right.
It's interesting. It's still good. It's definitely their best card by a landslide, and it's to the point where you're gonna put it in probably every list. But it's just not as powerful as I think Shadow Organization.
But speaking of tactics cards, all the Regenerator card, I can't remember the name of it right now. The
Exceptional Healing.
Yeah, exceptional healing. There's a card with an X in it.
It's not affiliated though.
True, but exceptional healing is going to get a lot more work done in this list. There was already doing a lot of work for X-Force, but now it's got when you could easily play 3+ members that have healing factor. It's going to be really annoying to take down.
Oh, but don't forget,
universe.
we already know a lot of the new X-Force cards because it's going to be the Honey Badger cards.
Yes, the Honey Badger cards are not X-Force
Those
cards.
are going to be good.
Yes, but they are good. They are.
Yeah,
They are
so
good.
they'll have access to good cards.
Mhm.
And maybe that was intentional. They knew that there was a lot of character-specific cards in there, like Fastball Special and Weapon X Training and the...
Oh,
what
I
the
forgot.
hell is his name? Wolverines and the Badger card.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Amazing
It's like
Jonathan.
Darren the Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan the Indestructible.
Yeah, or something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's a lot of character-specific cards in there that are good.
that is true. I forgot that Fastball Special, which is not an X-Force card, is an X-Force card because if you're playing
Yeah.
Colossus and him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's... Yeah, I forgot. There's no X-Force cards, but yeah, Fastball Special is going to be fantastic, as is... I think the Amazing Jonathan. I think it's the Amazing Jonathan. No, the Amazing Jonathan is a.
The Amazing Jonathan is
that's
a
a
magic
That's a
magician.
Mazzer guy. The Amazing
Comedy
Jonathan is a
magician, yeah.
fantastic person.
Speaking of the Amazing Jonathan, did you watch the documentary?
Yes.
No, I did not.
My fucking god, he ruined somebody's life.
Oh, no.
Like fucking ruins his life with a joke. So he signs up to have a documentary made about him because he's dying. I don't know if you know this,
I
but he has
didn't know.
terminal illness.
No.
Yeah. So the guy gets there and he films him, and he's like, he has like 3 years left to live, and so the guy's filming him, and then 3 years go by and he's not dead.
Yep.
So he's like, I guess I'm just gonna keep filming, and then like, it's so funny. And then he starts hiring other documentary crews to do documentaries on him, and the guy's like, like, what's going on, Jonathan? He's like, well, you know, they asked me if they could do a documentary. He's like, well, I thought we had like an exclusive deal. And he's like, oh, I didn't know we were exclusive. The guy's like, well, I just spent 3 years of my life doing this documentary. Like, what's going on? It's just like that for fucking 2 hours.
Yep. Pretty much. He's kind of a douchebag.
Literally, this guy literally is like about to like fucking quit his career over Jonathan being a dick. So good.
He's a prick.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. He's just a great comedian.
Oh my god.
Never break character.
And then they're like, is this guy actually dying or did he fuck with us? Like
Yes.
that's
So it gets to the point where the documentary guy confronts Jonathan going, I need to know if you're actually dying or if this is a prank. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course I'm dying. Are you just throwing this in my face? It's so good.
That's awesome.
And spoiler alert, if you want to watch it, mute yourself for 5 seconds, but it just ends on a cliffhanger. You don't know what happens.
yep.
Great.
So good.
It's called Jonathan. It's the card is for the official. Jonathan the Unstoppable is the name.
The
of the card.
Unstoppable. There you go. All right, cool. So that's the end of our news. Very exciting news.
Mhm.
So let's move into currently playing. I have played a game.
Well
Yay!
done.
No longer will I be known as the podcast member that has never tried this game. I have now played a game.
There you go.
And it was good. I got to play John. That was a very fun game. I like playing John. John's a good opponent. He played an exact copy of my list in every way. So we just played a perfect mirror. It was very boring and terrible. But really, I played Defenders, that Defenders list we've been talking about. Can we make teleporting Hulks good? He played Can We Make Wizards Good? And it was interesting. So he played Convocation into my Defenders. He had New Strange, I had Old Strange. He also had Hood. God, I'm trying to remember who else he had now. Hood, Mordo.
He had to have been using Dr. Voodoo.
I don't think he was. I don't think he had Voodoo.
No.
We played
play them
fairly
with
low
him.
points. Well, I mean, it's John. He's not meta decision guy, so I don't know if he's even tried Voodoo yet. So I don't know that he knows how broken he is. I'm just forgetting the other character he had. Shit. I had a very well balanced. Oh no, we played high points. I had Hulk, Doctor Strange, No Stone, Ghost Rider, and Wong. And he had... Shit, this is gonna kill me now. Strange, Hood,
Mordo?
8.
He had Mordo. I saw that.
Mordo, 11. It's like 8 points still.
I think he had Dr. Voodoo.
Did he?
I
don't
remember
think
him
he did.
having, because I saw it painted. That's the only reason I would have seen him.
I think
have
it was on his tray. I don't think he played with it, though. Oh, no, he had Scarlet Witch and his own Wong. He had Scarlet Witch and Wong. That was his last 7 points. I forgot. Scarlet Witch and Wong. Yeah, because he was exactly affiliated, because Hood and Scarlet Witch weren't affiliated. Okay, good. I remembered. All right. So moving on. The game was very fun. I managed to play Portals fairly late in the game. We were doing Research Station Attacked and the roll to gain control of the deformation one. Mutant Madman out? No. It was Energy Defense. Oh, it was Spider Portals. That was it. Spider Portals, because we were getting placed all over the place.
That'll do it.
Yeah, so obviously my list is more in your face and his is more like skirmishy. And so he kind of wants to sit back and shoot me. So I basically got to the point where he had to decide to put Hulk on the center point, or put a character on the center point so Hulk could destroy them. I sent Ghost Rider and Wong to opposite flanks to take the side points. He sent Scarlet Witch to counter Wong, and so Wong died very quickly. And then my Doctor Strange basically fought his Doctor Strange for most of the game. Which went surprisingly well. I was actually very shocked that it went so well for me. It is very annoying because his stupid Tactus card that changes everything to mystic damage counters my leadership ability, and so I couldn't change the damage types because mine triggers on action use, his triggers on target. And so I was like, well, shit.
Wait, I actually wondered about that exact interaction the other day.
Yeah, mine, the Defender's leadership happens before the Tactus card triggers. Because his triggers when his character is targeted, mine is triggered when you declare the attack. At least I think so. Am I misremembering this? I might have fucked that up now that I'm thinking about it. Rules PDF. I gotta look at the timing chart. I'm pretty sure I did it right. Parker, can you look up, or can one of you guys look up the Defender leadership on Doctor Strange?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Doctor Strange.
What's the trigger?
Doctor Strange. When an allied character declares an attack before choosing a target, it may spend 1.
Yeah, and his works on target. So yeah. I thought it was super obvious, which is why I didn't even bother arguing it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that completely shut me down. However, when that card wasn't in play, it was very good, because being able to just because a lot of his dudes have 2s in defense, and so it was able to just go through his defense pretty easily. Doctor Strange is a son of a bitch, though. His defense is really dumb.
I was actually... go ahead.
Changing everything to physical, or to mystic, and then having the energy absorption mystic. I did a penance stare attack into him and did 0 damage, but that's because I rolled 1 hit. But that was very annoying. And then the second penance stare, I did 8 hits, and it was a physical attack, and he did not like that one very much. He basically died.
Yeah. I actually wondered the other day, I know they printed Convocation, right? And then they hit Asgard with the Nerf hammer several times, just bopped it right on the head. But I was looking at Asgard the other day. I go, isn't Asgard like the natural predator for Convocation? Like tons of physical hits, tons of throws everywhere. Like they're going to be able to make use of the bad.
Well, but
defense.
the action throws of throwing a character is only going to do 1 damage, and so it's not as aggressive.
Well, but the Asgardians they have throws. They can constantly throw items at the Convocation.
Yeah, I guess. The big one is going to be braced, obviously. I'm just worried that you won't survive long enough, because they actually hit surprisingly hard. But yeah, maybe, because they're going to make everything mystic damage on the important turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the equivalent of Rainbow Bridge too. I didn't even realize that
they
was
do.
one of their cards.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They have the equivalent. They have the equivalent of Rainbow Bridge, Cosmic Configuration, Dark Rain. Like they have almost all the great cards in the game. They have.
They have the who's who of good Tactics cards as like all their stuff, which is the main reason I want to give them a try. And a lot of their stuff doesn't even say Convocation only. Like you can play whoever the fuck you want.
Right. Or rather, it says you have to target a Convocation character for most of them, but it benefits whoever.
Everybody, yeah. Or like Convocation has to play it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, important stuff happened. Basically, though, because of his list build, he wasn't able to fight me fair. It's because I have Ghost Rider, Hulk, and Strange, so like I can hold the middle point extremely well. So John did a good job of spreading out with his Tactics card and getting the points around me. And he got a little luckier than I did on the scenario point rolls on the first turn, but then his dice turned on him really hard, and he missed like 4 or 5 in a row on 4 dice. Like he got really bad scenario point rolls in the middle term of the game, and because of that, I was able to get the researcher to the second point basically on turn 3. We pushed on turn 2, but I got it turn 1, and then so turn 3 I got it to the back point. And by that point I was only down 3 points, I was at 13. And so I only needed 1 point to make it to the control phase, and I won. And because the researcher was going to score me 2 regardless, even if I didn't control it. So I basically just said Ghost Rider can run away with a point, it doesn't matter. But yeah, Ghost Rider was zooming all over the place, and Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, actually died to his Spirit of Vengeance. He rolled on my Doctor Strange, blanked out, re-rolled into 3 crits, and died. It was quite awesome.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer fella.
Yeah, so I had some pretty fortunate dice rolls for that game, but it was really fun. He definitely set up the turn to kill Hulk very well by playing that the equivalent of Dark Rain. I don't know what it's called, where you get to reroll all your Mystic dice.
Like orb of something. I know the art.
Yeah, it's the orb of something, but it lets you reroll attack dice that are Mystic. And Hood was on his backside, so he charged and did Dark Lightning into me. I was like, God damn it! So he hit me for like 14 hits or something crazy.
No.
Shit.
Oh, sorry. Orb of Agamotto is their placing. It's the plane of Poldock. That's the Dark Rain card.
So anyway, he came in and hit Hulk for a whole bunch in like 1 or 2 hits with Hood. But then I played Portals immediately after he did that, and I dropped Strange and Ghost Rider on top of Hulk and played Vapors of Valtor on Hulk. And so he basically had to stop attacking him because I just reroll all of his dice after he rerolls his dice, which it negates his modifications and completely tanks his rolls. And with Hulk's new defensive stats and rerolling mechanics, because he was capped out on power, it was going to be very hard for him to get any damage through. So he basically had to like knee-jerk pull out and go after somebody else on that turn. So we were both using our tactics cards to great effect. But yeah, the Portals is as broken as I remember it. That card is definitely not okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's
right.
Crazy to see someone just kind of pop through and they're like, haha, I'm right here. What?
Surprise, here's Hulk and Ghost Rider. And you're like, what? And then like, your whole army dies. Like, can you guys leave, please? All right, so tell me about your guys' games. Parker, did you play some guns?
I played. I built my Hulkbuster, and so I was really excited to play it. And so I looked at my Some Guns list, which was based on Cabal, and I thought maybe I could port it over to Sam Spam, mostly because Sam doesn't have rapid fire, but he does attack twice on a wild with his shield, and so he's similar to rapid fire, and a bunch of rapid fire models can fit in the list. So it's the rapid fire core is Sam, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Hood, and I don't think I found space for Punisher. So that's like the 4-character like core that's going to do rapid fire. And the idea was maybe I'd also get to play Hulkbuster, and so Hulkbuster was there along with the regular kind of Sam Spam fare. And basically I found out that I think I'm done trying to improve Some Guns. I think I did it. I think the Cabal version is the best one, and I guess I will never get over how inefficient I feel Sin is. Sin is a stealth model with rapid fire. That should be enough, right? But
and hit and run.
And hit and run, like it sounds like it should be enough, right? But I in all the games I've played with that list, I feel like she doesn't. The leadership never contributes anything meaningful, and she never contributes anything meaningful. I'm not sure if it's like her 4 health on the front side, or
you just rather her be any of the other rapid fire models, basically.
Yes. Yeah, I would rather like I seriously think the list would improve if I went without a leadership and just played Cabal, and just so I could play Dark Rain. Like that's you could like Dark Rain by itself is a better reason to play the list than Sin's leadership or Sin, which is really weird. But
you could cross your fingers and just hope there's a Hydra affiliation coming down the line.
Yeah, I think I actually think that my original the idea about Sam doing it is not horrible, and Sam's leadership is better. But the problem is when you're looking at like the Sam list and the Sam Spam list works really well with all the DR guys, like all the standard Avengers. It works so well, and I felt like switching it to rapid fire isn't what it wants. Maybe I need to try to take out Sid and just find one more point to put down Red Skull and see if the teleporting Red Skull Also, getting 1 extra power on every rapid fire hit sounds great. Like, could I use that extra power for other things? I will say there was one standout model in our game. I'll talk about the game I actually played with Jeremy, which was Black Widow. Black Widow is Agent Widow, not a Little Widow, but Agent Widow was interesting because basically, if you didn't one-shot her, it was really hard to get her, and she was doing 1 plink damage and doing damage herself. She stayed. She got one-shotted by a lucky roll early in the game, like turn 2, and then she lived for several turns holding on to the Senator, and Jeremy just couldn't get her down really easily. If she does with her 4 physical defense, if she rolls hot against physical damage, with the stealth and parting shot, like, she's just very difficult to get to pin down. So
I think she's actually really strong if you have opponents that have a lot of range 2 attackers. Like, if your opponent has, like, Sabretooth and stuff, well, Sabretooth might not be a perfect example because he is aggressive, but people like that have a lot of range 2 attacks, because you can just parting shot and stay within 3, but be out of range 2, and so if they don't have a charge mechanic, they can't attack you again, and they basically have to move away or you're going to shoot them.
Right. Also, the fact she has stealth means that, like, somebody nearby can't just turn their gun over to her. Like, it may not be advantageous. So she is actually a surprisingly strong, like, in the mix character for not having it on paper. She doesn't look like she would be, but if she doesn't get one-shotted, she lasts way longer than she looks like she should. Also, interrogation popped twice, and so that was pretty cool. Like, she was 2 victory points in the game, which was kind of awesome. So I was impressed.
You know what?
I was impressed by Agent Widow in that game, and I don't know if I'm going to play her all the time in Cabal, but I think actually Agent Widow might get a little bit more in Cabal, because having that much more power means she's that much more difficult to pin down with having parting shot available all the time, and parting shot and interrogation, and with somebody like Red Skull Cabal, if I'm going to switch to Red Skull, just to make that make my leader more effective in the rapid fire list. So
we never talked about this when we were talking about Nick Fury, but what about Agent Widow with Nick Fury? Because she also generates victory points.
Yeah.
Did we really not talk about that?
No, we mentioned it when we were talking about victory point getters in general.
We talked about that it's an ability in the game. Did we not talk about the combination of both of them, though?
Yeah. The fact that she can help you manage whether or not you want to be on top or on, equal to or above or below.
Yeah. Well, it helps if you do get behind and you need to catch up. This is a great way to get tied again.
Right.
Because you could potentially be scoring 2 points off of not scenario effects every turn. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty powerful.
It's really
talk
powerful.
About that at some point. All right. So, Parker, is there anything else you want to talk about at your list? I think you basically just said that it's not as efficient as you'd like it to be, but you think you're done trying to make it better. Yeah,
I think it's. I wish that, like, something just appeared and I could find, like, yes, this is the thing you're supposed to do with Sin, and maybe some. I wish I would have played a lot of games to find that out, but maybe I haven't totally given up on the list because it was a really fun list and it was very effective with its tactics. So I don't think it's wrong. I just wish Sin did something else. The one thing I hadn't tried yet that I probably just need to literally just bite my cheek and do it is put Crossbones down and see what happens if I spend 3 points on Crossbones. Does that make Sin feel like she's doing something? Can I take priority sometimes? Because that would be amazing. Could I take? Could having, like, a sticky character in there feel better than just letting Punisher take it on the chin when I really want him to stick up and do a lot of damage? Like, but man, it doesn't feel as good as Zemo, like, for the list. I feel like Zemo's going to get so much more done than he does, but maybe I need to try.
Cool. Parker, Jeremy, you played a game.
I played 2 games.
Played 2 whole games.
I played 2 whole games.
Twice as many games as I played.
Yeah. So I'm still messing with Dormammu. It's a big model that's really cool and has fire fucking swirling around it. So I wanted to play that. I'm going to play that. I'll be playing that for quite a while, actually. It's entered its purest form yet.
I was going to say,
it's fun. I don't know that it's good, but there's no question it's fun.
I think I've unlocked it. I have kind of a combo with it now that's pretty interesting.
I was gonna say let's put heavy quotation marks around Dormammu because I did not play Dormammu.
No, you didn't.
I did
fucker.
not.
You played what you
Dude,
deserved. You played what you deserved.
Elaborate.
You did what you did. So I played Jason. We played standard Dormammu versus Sam Wilson. I've played so much goddamn Sam now. Like, I just kind of look at it and I say, well, there's not a lot I can do about it. Start grinding into the models, and I don't fall for the try. I don't kill anybody. I just kind of grind them all down and then kill them all at once. That's kind of the goal. Obviously, it doesn't happen that way all the time, but if you let me do that, that's what I'm going to do. And that's my best chance of winning. So I ended up winning that game with him. And I played Dormammu, and that was with the when you came over and go, do this, and I'm like, fuck it, I guess I'll do it.
You're like, there's no way that works. I'm like, trust me, it works.
Yeah.
And then you played it, and you're like, yeah, that works.
It actually worked out pretty well against those guys.
You look across tables like, there's no way a 3-model list that includes a 3-pointer can't die. Literally, is impossible to kill.
Yeah, so it was Ghost Rider, Dormammu, and Luke Cage with the proper tactics cards and all that stuff, and it worked out just fine. Then after that, me and Parker played, and yeah, I think the version of the list you're playing, Parker, is a diluted version of a good list. Like, it's kind of a mixed bag, which you did roll really bad that game. It was one of those, you rolled 4 dice and nothing happened, and 4 dice and nothing happened, and 4 dice and nothing happened. And I don't remember how or why, but we ended up going low points. And I was like, okay, the second half of my list is actually better than the first. So I dropped Web Warriors into it, and it did what it does. And my shit actually worked, so I ended up winning that game. But
Parker, I do think there's going to be an opportunity for a modified Some Guns list in X-Force coming up, because Cable, while not being what you want for the rapid-fire list, does give you more offense. And then Honey Badger is going to be a pseudo-incinerate. So a combination of Cable's Incinerate and Honey Badger is going to drop people's defense by 2, and then you just flood the list with rapid fire characters. I think that could work.
Mm-hmm. Also, you don't really... It's something you can do. Like, you wouldn't necessarily lose anything by filling in the last... Because that's one of the things about X-Force. You put in the X-Force members, then what? Well, you could just put in Winter Soldier, Punisher... I don't know.
Even Deadpool, because Bang is basically rapid
fire.
Because
Bang, because you have Bang, Domino's a rapid fire model, a great one. So like it's Deadpool-ish, Domino absolutely. Honey Badger assists, and also here's the thing about Cable is Cable was actually the original inspiration for this rapid fire list, because I love that Cable starts rolling dice on turn 1. Like, he's the first model I noticed. What it doesn't say on his card is start contributing damage and dice on turn 1, double tap on turn 1, which is really awesome. So
his card says this model can attack 12 times in a game.
Right.
And so you're trying to increase that number, but there's only 12 actions, so now you have to start attacking more than twice a turn.
Right.
And then rapid fire comes up.
Right. So, but he does feed into that mode. He does feed into that, like, just roll more dice, roll lots of dice, more consistently.
It also, because some of those characters only rapid fire on a hit, having the reroll available on the attack rolls that you don't trigger it is increasing the likelihood that they rapid fire,
right?
Which is far more important than the results on the dice.
Yeah.
I
think it's, and if you want to, if you get the magic numbers that you'd like, and you want to say, well, I want to do, I want to put the standard Wolverine, Colossus, Cable, X-23, Honey Badger, and just, like, play X-Force, you can still do that. But being able to switch to rapid fire, I think it's a good call. I don't think I'm ever going to totally put down rapid fire models ever now. I love the efficiency of it.
They're so efficient. I think everybody kind of knows that, and so you were just testing how far you can push it, really.
Right. And I will say, Jeremy was correct. In our game, for the first time ever, rapid fire was cool, like, for 2 turns in a row, which is really weird. Usually, one of the benefits of rapid fire is if when I double tap with it, one of my attacks does 5 damage, right? So it's like 1, 0, 0, 5. This just generally kind of what happens, because spikes happen. In that game, I got no spikes. It just was nice and cool the whole time.
Yeah. Have you tried the unaffiliated version of the list where you literally just take, like, the 6 best rapid fire models?
No, I haven't yet, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't because the best tactics cards for the list that I've encountered so far are Hood's Gang, Deception,
Dark Reign, obviously, but
Dark-
that's
yeah.
expensive.
Right.
You have to play Cabal members.
Right. Like honestly,
Bitter Rivals.
yeah, Bitter Rivals. Yeah. So like, Bitter Rivals, Field Dressing, Hood's Gang, and Deception is what I was playing almost every single game, and I've learned that Deception is not good in every single mission, that it should not be played. But I actually really like Mystique in this list. I do not know if she's a really good list if she's really good in Brotherhood, but man, she felt great in Rapid Fire because I didn't need great action economy. They were coming to me, or else I was just going to shoot them all. So she found tons of ways to always get to contribute a bunch. Yeah, I think there's. I don't think I found the absolute limit of it, but it might be the first list that I'm excited to play unaffiliated, which is weird. I just don't like that. I don't like it, but it could.
Yeah, and Domino turn 1 can incinerate whoever you want. So if you also have Honey Badger, you just point at somebody and lower their defense dice by 2, and then you have a reroll on offense. That just seems like you don't even need that much to kill people when you're doing that. Like even Thanos falls down to that.
I mean, Cable also likely incinerates somebody turn 1 because he has a wild.
Right.
His
yeah.
is wild.
Mm-hmm.
So Domino auto does it, yes, but there's I think X-Force is probably gonna. I love X-Force, so I don't. I think when the Badger, and I love X23 and Honey Badger, and I like Colossus. I was a little uninspired by his model because it's kind of simple, but I think it's actually one of the things X-Force would love to have. So I'm definitely gonna be playing X-Force when those 3 mutants come out. I'm definitely gonna be putting them down.
So Jeremy, back on your Dormammu list, you were talking about how you played the purest form of it. What is that? What's different about it?
Well, all the builds I had in the past, I wasn't sure of the models, the 10 models to go in the list. But then when I added in Web Warriors and fleshed it out, I think that every point total and all the missions now are workable. I don't have to play Dormammu. I don't have to wedge him into points that don't matter. I can play the best models for what I want to actually achieve, and Web Warriors pull that off real easy.
What you're telling me is if you just take Web Warriors, which are the best list in the game, and then add a Dormammu in the 10, the list is fine.
No, because I actually that's true. However,
yeah, I feel like that would be true of most good lists. Is you could just add in Dormammu as the 10th and just say fuck it.
My total intent is Dormammu plus Doctor Strange plus whatever, but at certain point,
so you've basically got Dark Dimension soup mixed into a Web Warrior list.
Sure.
I don't hate that. It seems solid.
I mean, the main idea is
it definitely gives your opponent a lot to think about at list selection.
Yeah,
because they're trying to think about how to not get drug off points, and then also Dormammu's hanging out in there somewhere. So,
and I love the idea that between Strange and Dormammu and whatever 3-point model, that 3-point model is what it kind of sets it apart. It can be Ghost Spider, which is phenomenal. It can be Luke Cage. It can be it really is one of those okay, what scenario are you playing and what is across the table potentially? And it has tons of options, which before I was kind of pushed into corners a lot of what do I do here? I don't even know. I'll do my best, I guess. Now I feel like I actually have agency.
Have you tried Shuri as the 3-pointer?
No.
I just feel like Feel the Power of Darkness combined with Panther Gauntlets is just going to be so much pushing away that your opponent's going to be just dragging themselves around by their fingernails trying to stay near Dormammu just to contest points.
I was going to say on that note, the only Dormammu list I put together, the one I'm going to play if I ever get around to playing Dormammu, is exactly what you're doing, Jeremy, but it's for Wakandans instead of for Web Warriors, because I think one of the things we're talking about has how if you want to play models with Dormammu, you want to play models that you can use all their power. You can use all Shuri's power, like you're going to use all of her power, and you're going to use.
I don't actually think that's always true, but
think so?
If you're playing it smart, you can.
Right.
I think you'll forget to reroll a lot of the time because you literally will be rerolling hits sometimes to get rid of all of her fucking power.
Yeah. But also. Black Panther, on his backside, he's going to use all of his power. On his front side, I think he will accumulate a bunch of power if you're not careful. But he does have ways to dump it on his turn.
Yeah, his explosive blast is huge.
Yeah, so you can,
and he doesn't take that much damage, so he doesn't get flooded with power very often.
Right. So I think Black Panther and Shuri are I think, really strong for Dormammu. And
Mhm.
then you can just switch, add more Wakandan characters if you're like, I can't play Dormammu right now, but I'm going to play Wakandans. But I think Web Warriors is also a really strong idea. I think like you said, Ghost Spider is a really strong ad.
Are you just did you already build this list, or this is just theorycraft?
No, that's what I played against Parker.
No, I was talking to Parker. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I built it.
The Wakandan one. Who's your? Do you have all 6 Wakandans or just 4?
It was 4. It was
because I think you cut Killmonger, right?
It was. Yes, it was. It was Killmonger because Storm has a throw.
You did.
So it was Black Panther, Okoye, Shuri, and Storm was in it because I actually thought Storm could use all of her power.
Because that was my thought, is that she can dump a crazy amount of power because she's got multiple 3-cost powers.
Right.
So I thought that would be good.
Yes.
You can be like, hey, look, this beam is 7 dice, like blah blah blah, or 6 dice. You throw them, and then you throw another character, and so you felt like she could really get rid of it. And she's hard to get to because of her super stealth.
Right. So that's actually Storm. The reason why I got to Wakandan as the answer is I looked at a bunch of the 3-pointers in the game and tried to look at the ones that you could spend a bunch of power either offensively or defensively. And Okoye can spend it ish for bodyguarding. Shuri spends it for rerolls. Everybody wants rerolls, and Storm can spend it offensively at least. And Black Panther would love to have it on his backside. On his front side, is ways to dump it. The only one who I think absolutely cannot play with Dormammu is Killmonger. And I don't know how much you play Killmonger in Wakanda anymore. I don't know when you're super
in
Wakandan.
I think he's important because you need the high damage, but I don't think you need that if you're playing Dormammu. And so if you want to play an actual Wakandan like faction within, and you're not just playing Dormammu all the time, I think Killmonger probably makes the list.
No.
Also, same thing as Black Panther. I don't think Killmonger. If Killmonger's taking a bunch of damage, he's probably dead because they're not going to deal with a half-dead Killmonger.
Right.
Like, he's dying. And so I was also curious. I just pulled up his card, seeing if he could maybe repeatedly pay the 1 to count his blocks instead of his hits, but I think you can only do it once because the trigger only happens once.
I think the original list I had was a bunch of 3-cost guys who throw things. Like, I think it was Drax because he gets better when he takes damage, and he throws things.
Likes power.
Yeah, likes power. Luke Cage. There was just a bunch of, it was like random 3-cost soup of good stuff, plus the Wakandans, and I originally didn't have Killmonger, but I see the point. But yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Jeremy, I like that concept where you've got like a lot of utility characters built in there that also do something outside of just be good utility characters for Dormammu. They've got like a separate faction built in there too.
Yeah, I learned a lot playing a bunch of... the worst version was playing a bunch of 3s. Like, all they did is spray themselves with damage. Like, they just all ended up murdering themselves. It was horrible.
That's why I liked Luke Cage, because Luke Cage could either spend the power, because he has good spending abilities, or you want him to have power because of the bodyguard situation, so it's fine.
I will say this on this podcast. We have talked about it many, many times when Web Warriors gets to play 14 points. Like how dumb it is when Web Warriors gets to play 14 points. I had never played against that, never got to play it myself. That's dumb as shit. Because I was
when both people are playing 4 models and your opponent's 4 models move your 4 models, it's really not cool.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I was like, when I played Web Warriors before, I didn't feel like it was like a complete shellacking. When I played it the first time, I was totally caught by everything because there are a lot of traps. But this time, I was like, wow, I do not have enough stuff to deal with 14 points of Web Warriors. I need more stuff.
Yeah. Well, also at 14 points, generally speaking, you don't have an elite level character to deal with the defense abilities they have, because their dice mods make them reasonably defensive. And so you just can't quite punch through their defense fast enough, and they just get ahead on points. There's nothing you can do.
To be fair, I was excited to use Hood, because I had Hood's Gang and Hood, and it's mystic.
Yeah.
It's a mystic rapid fire attack. So here we go. This is something that they should not like to see. And then Hood for 3 turns in a row rolled no hits.
He did. He shit the bed. Like he really did.
I actually, it was the Hood's attacks on the Hood's Gang turn with the rerolls for Hood's Gang against his Miles. Oh, by the way, Miles had the Senator, so he was 1 defense die less. He was 1 defense die less Miles with unable to reroll. I
know what you're talking about, bro. That just means he gets to reroll all of his dice.
I just
that makes his defense better.
Hood did 1 damage in 2 turns with that.
Yeah,
it was so sad.
So the problem with Hood is he's got the rapid fire on hit, and so it's just such quicksand because if the first one you don't roll a hit on, like halves your damage. And then the second one you don't roll a hit on is like 1/8 of normal damage. It's so brutal.
With Hood's Gang, I would roll a hit and he would block the hit or something like that. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
damage.
it was terrible.
So you were triggering rapid fire though?
Mm-hmm. No, I rolled 8 times. I rolled 8 times.
It was really stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay.
But it was just as stupid me trying to kill fucking Agent Widow. Like,
yeah,
Agent Widow was doing things that were just unbelievable. Like,
yeah, Agent Widow is the only reason why that was a game, is because she was actually being very difficult.
So this is probably the longest currently playing segment we've ever done, but there's a lot of interesting games that happened.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on.
All right, moving on to hobby projects. I mentioned last week that I wanted to try and get Hulkbuster assembled and painted for the January painting competition.
Yeah.
I'm proud to announce I have made very little progress on that.
Almost none.
I did get him assembled.
Hey!
I just need to glue the smoke onto the base and he's ready, which I don't know if I'm going to do yet. I thought about just painting him before I glued him on the base, but I think I'm going to go ahead and glue him on the base. We'll see. It'll be easier to hold that way. But yeah, he's basically assembled. I haven't put little guy to get fully together yet. He's like half assembled, but I just haven't touched him since last week. So this weekend, I'm going to have to go nuts to get it done. We'll see. I don't know if it'll happen. So what about you guys? Have you worked on any hobby projects?
I had to put Hulkbuster together again, because after my first game...
yeah, that's right.
That I would he broke... Oh, by the way, so he broke in the middle, because there are a few contact points, but it's not fantastic.
There's plenty. There's plenty of contact points.
I think I just put them together way too fast and didn't get it sealed.
You didn't get the glue time,
Yeah.
or you didn't put enough glue on, or you put it together badly.
Yeah.
One of the 3.
So this time I decided, so it came off and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this together right. And as I pull out his torso, somehow I flipped the torso out of my hand, and while trying to catch it, flipped the feet out of my hand. And so he broke into like 4 or 5 pieces. So I got him all reassembled and now he looks fantastic, but I built most of Hulkbuster again. So
I'm trying to decide if I want to do, because you've seen my Iron Man guys where I did the particle effect coming out of his hand. Trying to decide if I want to do that for big Iron Man too. What do you think?
That'd be a really enormous like model to fit, but somewhere. That's the only thing.
That's a Magnarax. So like it does. He's standing above everybody else. He doesn't take.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. There's nothing else that gets close except Dormammu.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it would look cool, or you think just having the open hand would be better? Because he's supposed to be doing the repulsor blast, right? Like that's obviously the intent.
I don't know. Maybe
with his hand open like that,
probably,
I would think that
right?
he's doing the repulsor blast.
Yeah,
or he's doing a fucking Heisman Trophy move. One of the two.
Yeah, it's probably It's supposed to be like a repulsor blast, or he's like
I think so.
Like maybe catching the fist or whatever when he does that once. But
yeah,
you can.
Yeah, I'll probably look through my collection of particle effect bits and see if I have one.
But you need to have like I feel like you need to have like a big ass one. Like it needs to be.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be big.
To look like
but I have to see if I have one that big. I might be able to make one out of green stuff, but I'd rather just use one of the pre-made ones. Jeremy, have you worked on anything?
Every model that is out currently available to us is put together and gray highlighted, and the Hulkbuster is now red. So
nice.
I'm kind of poking around. Every list I want to play right now and all the models I need are done. So I'm just kind of like hesitant. I'll get excited. Like what's going to happen is I'll want to do Convocation eventually. So I'll just get them all done at once.
It's so rare that I paint a model before I play with it. So when I was like almost done with Hulkbuster, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. Let me put some magnets on his base and go put it in my car. And I like stopped. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I have to paint this first. It's like, oh, I don't get to play with it. Anyway. So moving on to our main topic today, we're going to talk about the missions that are currently out in the game. Specifically, we're going to go through them one by one. There's about 22 or 23, I think. And we're going to talk about who should be playing them, who should not be playing them, and kind of the more specific, like, standout points of the individual mission, and like what sets it apart from the ones that are like it. So I have the extraction list here pulled up, guys. I think we're going to do extraction this week. We might do secures next week.
Okay.
So starting off with alien ship crashes in downtown. This is a 20-point extract deployed on deployment Charlie. The objective is worth 2 victory points in the cleanup phase. You interact with one of the 3 rubble piles and roll 2 dice. If either die is a critical, you remove the other 2, all 3 rubble piles, and the character that was interacting gains the Kree Power Core asset. If once the character drops it, another character can interact with it to pick up the core. A character holding the core cannot perform more than 1 move action per turn. And when a character ends its activation while holding the power core, it suffers 1 damage if it did not attack that turn. Most of the time, this is going to be found on turn 1, and that means that you are probably immediately going to take damage. So kind of plan that out.
I fucking
a lot of people. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So a lot of people will double move to the center, interact, roll their dice, and when they find it, they're like, sweet, and they just pick it up. It's like, you take a damage because you ended your activation with it. And they go, ow, shit. It's like hot potato.
I hate this mission.
I love this mission.
I fucking hate this mission.
This was the first mission, first extract mission outside the core set.
Yeah,
So the important thing, there's a lot of these Charlie deployment missions that you have to sift through and find the real objective. This is the highest point total one, and so if you're looking to play high point totals and do a low number of extracts, this is commonly going to be the first one you reach for because it's big points. It's the only one that damages you that I can recall, right? The only extract that damages you.
Nope.
For having it.
Cubes damages you.
Cubes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Cubes is the other one.
And this one only damages you if you
I
don't
haven't
attack.
played Cubes in so long, I forgot. So yeah, it's one of the a few extracts that prevent you from moving twice. That's very important to know. A lot of people think about it as like, oh, I'm going to move, I find it, I'll move away. No, you found it, you can't move, and so you're just stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in range to attack anybody, you're going to have to waste your second action and then take a damage for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to try and pick up this extract, you might want to think about moving to a place where you can also make an attack if you do find it, if you have that option.
I hate this one because I don't know. Senator,
so mad.
I hate this one because Senator makes you move short, right? So it's another one where there's only 1 extract and it gives you 2 points, but you move short and you have 1 less defensive dice. So there's a really good chance there's going to be a fumble.
Spoilers.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, there's a really good chance there's going to be a fumble. With this one, in every game I've ever played, my opponent found it first because they rolled a crit, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't care if they took 1 damage a turn. They just left. Fucking left. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And I was like,
obviously the intent
bye.
on this is that the taking a damage for not attacking was meant to encourage people to stay within attack range of enemies. But clearly 1 damage a turn is not enough to make that happen.
No.
And so, which is why in later missions we see it's a little bit more aggressive or more hindering to have it. In either way, it is different.
Yeah. I really, every time I see this one,
Parker,
I'm like,
we know you fucking hate it.
Fuck, I hate it.
Jeremy, is there anything you would like to add that isn't Parker saying he hates it?
When I see this one, it always begs the question, am I the one going to get that, or is my opponent? And to me, you have to decide. You decide before you even start playing. Depends on the blue, what's your blue matchup. But for the most part, I've decided after 2 years of this game that I don't care about it anymore. Like,
it's not worth your time.
Nope, I will go get it in a minute. Like, I won't score it at
list,
first.
List of things Jeremy don't got time for. Kree power cores. That's
Exactly.
really what you got time for.
That's how I look at that mission, though.
So I have a different way of looking at it. So Parker, his vision of this mission is lose on it because he doesn't understand it. Jeremy likes to just ignore the fact that it's a mission entirely. I like to not check the points, but still play to get it. And so because I know my opponent isn't going to be able to move away generally once they find it, I'll position myself to attack the points, but I won't actually interact with them. So what will happen is my opponent will spend usually about 4 to 6 power checking these points and activating his models in subpar ways just to interact. And I'm just staying there watching them, attacking him while he's doing it, softening him up. And so then on turn 2, when he checks it again, he's already pretty beat up. And so he'll pick it up, move away, and I'll jump on him and take it from him. And so that's the way I generally play this. Very seldom will I actually check the points myself on this specific mission. On the other center point deployments where you roll off, I tend to check those a lot more often than this one.
The one thing about that strategy is, I guess if you have the ability to move once and double attack move once and attack, that's an option. But that's a very specific list you made. I guess if you were...
Well, it's generally because I guess I should include this, that's a good point. I play very aggressive attrition lists. So generally speaking, when I am playing, I'm either playing like Web Warriors, where I have the ability to just go get you anyway. There's nothing you can do about getting away from me. Mm-hmm. Or I play like Magneto or Hulk or, some version of very strong attacking characters. And so as long as I can close the distance quickly, the killing you part is an afterthought.
Yeah.
If my opponent has like a Thanos, then I'm a little bit more insistent on rolling on these. But in an even matchup, I don't care too much.
I was gonna say, the characters you just said was like Magneto. Hulk loves this. Like if Hulk is deployed opposite the character that rolled the crit on that turn, Jesus, they're gone.
Yeah. You basically have to stop rolling on that point and move to another point because what are you going to do?
Right.
But yeah.
So
I think all of these are really important. As long as you have a plan going in, you're not going to lose the game on Alien Ship, right? Like 2 points a turn is not insurmountable if you've made a plan. Mm-hmm. But if you're playing a secure that's like a 4 secure point, and you're okay just standing there getting 2 of the 4 points every turn, and then you let your opponent get the alien ship, well, now they're just gaining 2 points on you every turn.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to get 3 of the points just to push even. And so if your plan going in is, I'm going to need 3 of these blues to counteract the red, well, when you enter the game with that perspective, it's very different. As opposed to figuring that out on turn 3 when you're already behind, where it's like, okay, well, now I need all 4 of them to catch up. You've put yourself in such a hole that it's too late.
I think this is also this is where funny things like putting Dormammu in your roster can be funny, because if you have, for example, like Black Cat or Quicksilver or both, and you're like, I really need to on a stick go get the alien ship thing, then if you're playing someone like Dormammu or even weird like Black Bolt, and you could or She-Hulk, and you could feed those characters power so that they're just waiting, range long from wherever it is, from some like 2 points, for example, you're kind of positioned there. You can imagine, okay, when that thing goes off, whoever finds it, that's when I'm going to go in and just take it and leave.
Yeah. And I've played Quicksilver for like the last 6 months in most of my lists, so that also makes it a lot easier.
Right.
So anyway, we're spending a bit long on this one. This is kind of just the intro to the missions. Overall, I think we all understand that this is one of the more simple missions, which I think is why Parker doesn't like it too much. It's very straightforward, but it is very dice dependent. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to get lucky and find it. I take the luck out by not participating. So does Jeremy. We just have a different plan about what happens after the roll gets made. And Parker just rolls and fails, apparently. Or rolls and his opponent has Quicksilver and he gets mad.
I think the problem for me is if you're playing fair, if you're playing like a fair list with fair stuff, and your opponent gets lucky, man, it's hard to go get it. You have to be playing some unfair thing. Like you need to have Hulk, or you need to have Doctor Strange.
A high damage output mobile list, or you need to have control so they can't get away from you.
Right.
or you need some kind of subterfuge scenario stealing element.
Yeah.
But all three of these things exist in the meta and are commonplace, which is why this mission gets played a lot.
Yeah. It's not. This is not an unfair mission in the game.
Yeah.
It's just that when I play fair, when I'm playing X-Force looks at this and goes, "Ah, Jesus Christ!" Like, because
well, it's because you just want to kill people, and,
Right.
and including this in the whole situation is just not something you're interested in doing.
Right.
Do get ready for a lot of these guys because there's a lot of these types of missions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people that want to play this. This is the most important standout points are. This is the only one of the single extracts that damages you. It is the highest point total of the single extracts, and it is probably the least hindering other than that. Like you can only move once a turn, but that's really not that bad. So yeah, people that want single extract missions need to be looking at this one. Probably don't play it if, like Parker said, you're playing a fair list that isn't really good at one of the things I said about getting it or fighting past it.
Right.
Moving on. Next mission we have is Deadly Legacy Virus Cured? It's a 19-point extract. Deploy 3 Legacy Cures as shown on deployment C, Charlie. Each player scores 1 victory point for each Legacy Cure they are holding in the cleanup phase. And interact with the Legacy Cure. Pick up the Legacy Cure. A character must spend 1 power for each Legacy Cure they are holding before using this interact. And so basically, you're going to spend an amount of power equal to how many extracts you'll have at the end of the interaction. So if you already have 2, it's going to cost you 3. If you have 0, it's going to cost you 1. At the end of the character's activation, if it's holding 1 or more Legacy Cures, it may remove 1 special condition from itself. At any time, if a character is holding all 3 Legacy Cures, the character is immediately KO'd, and its controlling player scores 8 victory points. Remove all Legacy Cures from the game. So this is fun. Removing the negative conditions is sometimes important if you have a list that has, let's say, Hulk, for example, because Hulk doesn't get the daze mechanic, so he tends to just stick a lot of the debuffs on him for a long period of time, and that can actually be pretty hindering, and he obviously doesn't want to spend his powerful actions shaking, so that can be nice. The 8 victory points is game-changing if you weren't aware. It is a massive, massive swing that's very hard to come back from if you even get a chance. I've seen a lot of people win the game mid-turn with this because like Thanos like collects all 3 cubes and dies. Like, oh, Thanos is dead. It's like, yeah, but I have 19 points, so who cares? That's very easy to get ahead because if you think about it like this, like if you get 2 points on turn 1 just from the extract, probably 1 or 2 points from the secure, you're looking at like 4. Most people score between 3 and 4 turn 1. Next turn, you steal the 3rd extract from your opponent, get it on one of your people, and now it's just about getting the 3rd token on your guy with 2. And so if you have like mission objective, or if you're playing criminals, or if you have someone like Toad, all of these are ways you can move the objective over, or if you're playing the secure mission, Incursion, which we'll talk about next week, when you interact with it, you drop your objective tokens. That's another way to transfer them. So if you are playing mission objective in your 10, you probably want to look into this one because it's a pretty big hand up to be able to pass objectives around with this mission. What do you guys think?
This is one of the most gamey ones that's left. It's pretty.
I would agree with that.
It's pretty janky. If your opponent pulls it on you and you don't know what's about to happen, you're probably not going to feel good because it's not. It seems very fair and fun.
This is the biggest gotcha one left for sure.
Yeah,
and it's not even close. Yeah.
So,
I'm amazed this one didn't get restricted.
There's a lot of characters that can get 2 very easily on turn 1. So once those models have done that, you have to figure out how to unlock this. So how do you get the other one and get away? Like, what are you about to do? So that's really what your whole plan becomes, is how to deal with that. And if you don't have a way to deal with it, you're going to lose. Like, that's all there is to it.
Have you ever tried to build a list that just abuses this one mission?
I've never done it because it's so abusable.
It's not that hard.
No.
Because you can do, like, Dormammu's a great example because you get enough power to make all this stuff happen. But you do stuff like Black Cat or Quicksilver, obviously. You do Toad, because Toad can pick them up off of friendlies. And he can interact at range 2, so it's easy for him to get one without dying. And so, turn 1, he walks up and gets one. Turn 2, he takes one from an ally. Turn 3, he takes one from an ally. Game over. And he doesn't even have to spend the extra power to to pick these up because he's using a superpower on his own card. He's not even interacting with them. And so you'll just win the game and Toad will die, and then Dormammu will spend 6 power and you'll get Toad back. And you didn't even lose anybody and you started up 8 points.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah, Dormammu's an easy one to get 2 of them on him.
Yeah,
first turn.
So if you've never seen this mission before and you see somebody with it in their 3 cards, take a second and look at their roster and see if they've gamed around it. Like, if their list is built to take advantage of this mission, you need to, if you win priority, pick red. Don't let them have this as an option in their 3.
Especially if you see Angela, Amazing Spider-Man, Hulk.
Any of the speed long, medium people, or Hulk, or stuff like that. Anyone that can...
Why the speed longers? What are they going to do?
The speed long, medium people can pick up 2 on turn 1, which is why advanced R&D got restricted. Or banned, or whatever. Did it get banned, or is it just restricted?
It's restricted.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Because,
no.
Oh, because you can...
Advanced is not restricted. Advanced R&D is not restricted. It stopped
just
it
changed.
from doing it during the character's turn.
You must do it
it's only
during
active character.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So the reason the speed longers are dumb, like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and Angela, is because they can interact with 2 of these on the first turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can start in the middle. As long as your opponent doesn't take the middle one or you have priority, you can speed long plus your base width, land on the center objective, interact, pick it up, move long to one of the side objectives, pick it up. And then Amazing Spider-Man, for example, is really hard to bring down at range, and so it's very likely he'll get to move away next turn. Angela has 2 power innately, so she can just do it. Inhumans or Brotherhood would also allow this to work because they give you a refunded power when you interact, or Inhumans can obviously trade power around.
Yeah.
And so when people are playing Advanced R&D, this was the kind of shit they were doing. They weren't just handing out power to their allies, and which is what I've seen most people do with it, which is obviously not good.
So the whole idea is that somebody has 2 of them, and you're just trying to get the last one somehow, and that's how you win.
Right, and so then you just play Black Cat and Mission Objective. Black Cat steals it, runs away. So Inhumans is perfect, because you just end up with infinite power, right? And so you have Angela or Spider-Man, either one doesn't matter. They get 2 of them first turn if you get priority. Or if your opponent just doesn't know to go for the middle one always.
Right.
So it's very gotcha, because most people don't want to move to the center point on the first turn, because that's where you get attacked from. Yeah. And so they just don't understand how important it is to go get that. So either way, even if you don't go first, you're getting it. You're getting 2 of them. And then Black Cat's going and stealing the other one on turn 2, running away with it, and then you're using Mission Objective to pass it off next turn.
You could also use A-Force, and if you put She-Hulk and Spider-Man or Angela on the center point, they're going to be a lot less likely to want to go downtown, like go straight at that. So they'll wait.
Sure, but if they're intelligent, they'll know they have to.
Right.
So
I'm just telling you.
That's why it's very negative play experience, and that's what they were talking about when they were like, we're changing mission selection because it's scripted and negative play experience stuff. It's because people have never seen it before. It's like a 90% victory rate if you don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
Because if we just do the math, and so you start with priority, or they don't know how to stop it, or what's about to happen, you move up, you take 2 of the points, right, with one of your characters. Even if they immediately take the other extract, it really doesn't matter too much. You're scoring 2 points on turn 1 from extracts alone. Next turn, using Quicksilver or Black Cat to steal the third one and getting out. And then you're dumping all your power on that character so they can afford to move the token to somebody else next turn. So you're scoring 3 points at the end of turn 2, and then turn 3 you're scoring 8. So you're scoring 13 points on extracts in 3 turns. So all you do is hold the back point and the game ends on turn 3. And your opponent has no option to interact with the game, basically.
Right.
And if they don't know that's about to happen, they have no counterplay. Which is why people are like, oh, this is like unstoppable like combos. Like, it's not. It's just gotcha mechanics. If they know what's happening and they win the roll to go first, or because it was all on the roll to go first. So if they got to go first, it was harder to stop for sure. But if now, since the missions are random, it's only a 1 in 3 chance to play it instead of like a 60% chance to play it, which was before. Yeah. And that's if only you had it in your pair, I think it was. It was nuts. Anyway.
It's funny that you guys mentioned that, because this is one of the... even though this is something that can happen, I've never even seen it come close to happening. in any of the games I've
Mhm.
played, and I have played this a bunch. I've seen it played a
Yeah.
bunch against me. The 8v
Yeah, because
things
it's
has
not really an egregious mission. It's only egregious if you sell out for it.
right.
And if you completely sell out for it and it doesn't work, guess what? You fucking lose.
Hmm.
Like, because there's no way to come back from half your list only doing this.
Right.
Like, you just get the shit beaten out of you.
Yeah, I think it's. I was actually going to say that I think it's one of the fairer missions, unless of course like the
Yeah.
I almost wondered when I looked at this the first time. It looked like kind of a. It was supposed to be a fair one where you just score 1. There's 3 different points. It does a simple little buff that is sometimes it's useful.
Yeah.
And then there was almost like I think it was originally supposed to be a comeback mechanic, right? So
Yeah.
if you get really far back on attrition, but you do have the victory points, if you could try to find a way to finagle it onto the characters you want, because then you might just be able to get 8 victory points and take it from your opponent. I thought it was supposed to be a comeback mechanic, but of course it's abused instead. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because anytime it's not limited to comebacks, then it's going to be bad.
right.
I've had it.
I think this mission in a vacuum is probably okay. It's all about, does your opponent have the tools to game it?
I've only had it happen once, and it was that game versus you,
Mhm.
Brandon, where we looked down and we were like, "Oh wait, Magneto has those. I'll get
Yeah.
this one."
Yeah.
It was just like
I
one
guess-
of those, like,
I guess I just like climbing gear over to the guy that has the third one and declare him a murder victim, and then spend a power to win the game. You're like, yeah, that sounds right. Like,
Yeah, it's
and
like,
so
okay.
it doesn't. This is also very vulnerable to super characters, like we were just
Uh-huh.
talking about Hulk, Magneto, Thanos. These characters can very easily manipulate the board or just go and get the people that have them, and it's very hard to retaliate against them in a short period of time. Sure, over like 3 turns, you can punish Hulk for coming in on you, but not in 1 turn. You're not going to retaliate in 1 turn, and it's too late when by the time he's got 2 of them. Like, it's like, now what? Well, now Hulk activates again and kills the third guy and wins the game.
Yeah, Hulk
Yeah,
is
it's
a
very hard.
nasty one. He's really a
Yeah.
nasty one.
Thanos used to be the busted one. Thanos was crazy because you couldn't hide from him. He'll cross the table and kill you and get a second one. You can't kill
Yeah.
him. He'll cross the table again, get the third one, the game's over. And he doesn't even need to get the third one immediately. He could just stand there, kill you, make you drop it, and move everybody away from it. Next turn, your guy wakes up, picks it up, and tries to run away, dies again, and then he takes it then, and that way you can just guaranteed win the game the second it happens. Like, he'll just sit there and milk his 2 points until he feels like going and get the third one. So yeah, this should probably never be played in your list unless you're planning on abusing it yourself, because by playing it, you're just going to open yourself up to gamesmanship, gotcha bullshit, or just bad luck, right? Like, if your opponent goes first, picks blue, you flip this, and you look up and he's playing, like, Black Order with Hulk, it's like, well, I have no option to ever not get rid of these 3 tokens, so I'm just going to lose slowly. Like there's no option to play out of that hole, because it happens and it's over. And so, yeah, you should not be playing this unless you're at least trying to abuse it, and even then you should make sure that other people don't abuse it better than you. It's just not worth the risk of losing a game because you flipped this card. What do you think?
And Criminal Syndicate exists, so
Criminals are also
I
very
don't-
good at it because they can hand it off.
I mean, seriously, that's like the most dangerous thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think
criminals will just end the game.
I-
Because this synergizes really well with criminals, actually. You might even try it with criminals. But that's, again, you're abusing it. So go ahead, Parker.
I was gonna say I think you guys are treating it like plutonium. I don't know if it's that bad, but I think
Okay,
it's,
so you know those scoreboards we use?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine if at any time someone moved their tracker, their scorekeeper track from the top to the bottom row. How devastating of a situation that would be.
Oh no, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you shouldn't as a player be very aware of its possibilities.
Yeah.
But you guys listed a bunch of scenarios in which this could be strong. And I don't know if you let fear rule your decision to never put this in your roster, because if you have 2 big characters, which a lot of lists have 2 big characters, or if you have, if you're playing criminals, like there's lots of good reasons why, or the stealing characters, or hell, you just wanted to play Amazing Spider-Man, or you wanted to
Mhm.
play Angela, like they could take advantage of this. So it's not.
I would argue that that's not, because you're not playing the characters, you're just using their frame. Like, they're not going to do anything in the game. They're going to move twice, interact twice, move 2 more times, and hopefully they die at that moment. Like you're not even using the character. He's going to move 4 times and die.
I see your point. Yeah, you're not going to get to take advantage of the things they do.
The thing is, it's not fun unless you're trying to abuse it. If the whole thing is pulling off your Rube Goldberg machine and that's fun for you, then absolutely do it. But that already means that you're selling out, right?
Sure.
Like you're giving up everything else.
But I think that I don't think maybe I'm wrong. I don't think if I am playing criminals and I put this in because I really like 19 points on my list, I don't think I'm selling out for Deadly Virus. I just have an advantage against it with it on the table.
I don't think you're good, but that's my point. Is you're not going to have an advantage in the majority of your games because at best you're coin flipping if you're not selling out. In my opinion, it's a lot like why I tell people don't play Worthy because you'll get screwed. This is twice as bad.
Oh, you say that, man! I've played this mission.
I say it all the time.
I played this mission. I think it might be the most
because
I maybe play this distraction more than any other list, and I've never. Maybe it's just because I'm only playing people who play fair, but I'm not.
I think you're generally playing people that play fair or haven't played this mission before.
Yeah,
but anyone who's played it before knows as soon as this gets selected, we're playing a very different game, right? It's more game impacting than Gamma Wave, I think. Like this is the most game changing mission of the currently legal missions.
I guess I just need to see it, and I haven't had a big enough.
Jason damn near quit the game over this mission. Like he picked up his models and left the store. Like he's like, this is stupid. It's not fun. You're like, yeah, and he wasn't playing somebody trying to abuse it. It just happened.
So, Parker, next time you get this mission, change your mindset. Change it to, I want to get all 3 of those on a model. Play that. Mm-hmm. See what happens.
Okay.
Instead of just watch the tracker go up slowly.
Yeah.
Just have the mission.
Because how many times have you played this mission with the intent of winning as fast as possible?
No, I never did that.
Absolutely never. Because probably when you played this the most times, Captain X-Force, it was a 19-point mission that was red. That was all you cared about.
That is the only thing
and you made zero effort to actually win the game.
Nope.
You just tried to kill people.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you're playing this mission from the wrong mindset, and your opponents probably weren't practiced enough or knowledgeable enough to abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the problem with this one is, if you have not sold out for it and your opponent has not sold out for it, what will happen is it becomes a dice game. And dice games are not generally fun because the entirety of the game is randomly does an attack go not your way and the game ends. Like, because everything about the game turns into, well, I guess Miles one-shotted your character holding 2 points. Game over. Like, okay, that's not fun.
I would say that in the games that I've played, was I totally unaware that you could score 8 victory points? No. Like, I was watching to see, does anybody have 2? One of the times I played this was actually against you. You were playing Dormammu with Toad. You were trying to do the trick. You had Shadowcat, Toad, and Dormammu, and that was it
literally would have happened if I didn't have my character dazed by my own leadership.
Right. you accidentally stepped on the landmine and it exploded underneath you, and you would have gotten it. So it's not, and so. Yeah. I could totally see how that would have been a totally different game, and it would have literally been an instant flip if
I still almost won that game, and you stopped me from doing it.
Yeah.
And I still almost won.
Yeah.
I needed, 2 more points?
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, in that situation, I don't think you were truly settling out. You just had the ability to do it because you were playing Dormammu.
That's correct, yeah.
So,
yeah, like, you almost lost a game out of nowhere, having no ability to play out of it, really. The game was turned by a single dice roll. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The entire game came down to the dice roll that was damaging Black Cat. Nothing else mattered in that game. And you probably didn't recognize it at the time, but literally if she just doesn't take damage there, I win the game on the next turn.
It's also true that, I was going to say, in that particular one, yes, because you didn't have to do anything because Dormammu was just giving her enough power. She never had to interact to get anything.
Yeah, as soon as we left the power phase, I had priority. Toad spends 2, scores 8 victory points. Yeah. And you would have never been able to stop me from there.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like +9. Like, the game's over. Mm-hmm. And then Toad just comes back to life next turn, at the end of the turn anyway. So it doesn't even cost me anything. Anyway. So yeah, I don't think this should be played by anybody who's not actively trying to abuse the 8 victory points situation. Criminals are the best without doing it with a super character, probably, because you can pass it around and you just like give it all to Kingpin. Kingpin's hard enough to get them away from anyway. But yeah, this is a very, very dangerous mission. And surely, just as Parker was saying, you can play it against people that aren't trying to abuse it, and it's fine. I actually think it's a really fun mission. But because of the last paragraph, this cannot be in your list unless you're trying to abuse it. Because someone eventually you're playing will be, or your games will just turn into who gets luckiest on their attacks against characters with objectives. And it's just not fun.
Yeah. I think it's just that I've been playing with Dynamite for like several games and had no idea that I was playing with Dynamite. I was using Dynamite as Lincoln logs, and I was like, and somebody came along and goes, "Hey, you're playing with Dynamite." I go, "Nah, I don't think so. It's working just fine." But
it hasn't exploded yet. It's like, I know, because you're still playing with it.
Right.
And they also took out one of the ways to deal with it, which was all you've got. So it's even worse. It's worse now.
No, all you've got was one of the ways to abuse it even more. Because you would all you've got with a character with one of them and go get the other two right now. That was dumb.
Sure. I see it as all you got to drop Hulk and get shit back. Like, he can't just do that. But whatever. It's all the same difference.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it works both ways for sure. My thought was always Thanos has 7 power and just declares the game ends because he's going to take he's going to take 2 consecutive turns and score 8 victory points. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to watch it happen because you can't do anything.
It's horrible.
So anyway, moving on. Next one up is Fear grips world as worthy terrorize cities. Oh, is it really cities? I've always said citizens. Huh. I've never realized I was saying that wrong. It's an 18-point extract. Deploy 4 Celestial Hammers, as shown on deployment Delta. Each Celestial Hammer is worth 1 victory point in the cleanup phase. Interact with a Celestial Hammer to pick it up. Characters add 1 die to their attack rolls for each Celestial Hammer they are holding. When a character plays a Team Tactics card, they must spend 1 additional power for each Celestial Hammer they are holding. This is a very fun, simple one that tends to be unfair.
Gets out of hand.
So it's a win more mechanic. This is Deadly Legacy Virus Light. This is the card we used to say never include unless you can abuse it. Because what generally happens is, in a normal game, is you guys trade hammers back and forth till about turn 4 when one character gets like 3. And then it becomes an unstoppable force. And everyone that gets within range dies, and nobody can get to them because they're dying too fast. And usually by that time in the game's kind of over anyway. The problem happens when you get a character like Hulk or Ghost Rider or Doctor Strange that gets like 3 tokens on turn 2. And then you just don't get to play because they just kill all your stuff and you can't respond. That being said, this one is a lot more fair than the previous one we just talked about, Deadly Legacy Virus. You can play it okay with different stuff. Just be aware that you have to be very careful as to what you're allowed to, what characters you're allowed to play against. Like, if your opponent has Ghost Rider available to them, you don't want to play this. Because Ghost Rider abuses this better than almost any other character. Because him getting even more damage is really scary, but he's mobile enough to apply that leverage all over the table and then also run away from you. Like, he can gap close to you or run away. So generally speaking, like, you'll be running, trying to chase him down with the 3 hammers. He'll attack you with 2 9-dice strikes and then move long away, and there's just no response. If you send a bunch of people at him, he starts hitting you with like 8-dice sprays, or beam attacks, excuse me, and then move away long, and you just can't catch him. And so you just get to watch him slowly eat your entire army. So that's something to be careful of, but this is much more dice back and forth. You can kill that person, as opposed to Deadly Legacy Virus, where once it happens, it's over. It's an instantaneous thing. This you can fight your way back with really good play, but it's hard.
I was gonna say, this one is, even if you're not playing a super character, this is a what would you want to call it? Like limiting in the calculus sense, like approaching 0, because it increases that curve. Because normally in a game, as the game gets smaller and smaller, and both sides lose models, your offensive potential goes down, right? So you actually could sometimes struggle to close out the game if if you have 2 models left and he has 2 models left. Well, those 2 models may not be able to take out his 1 model in a turn. as opposed to early in the game where you had 3 models to converge on one model, and you were removing one model a turn. But this is one of those that does the opposite of that. As the number of models goes down, they concentrate on the hammers concentrate on those models, increasing their output. So it makes the end of the game slide really quickly to a halt.
Yeah. And anyone that says, well, just don't let one character get like all 4 tokens, well, here's what happens. You start off 4 different characters have hammers. And then you start trading them back and forth to where you kill an opposing model with a hammer, you pick it up on yourself. They kill your guy with the hammer, they pick it up on themselves. So there's 2 models with 2 hammers. Then next turn, someone gets priority, which probably has very little effect, or is very little affected by your decision making. It's just going to happen based on dice rolls and activation order. And then the character with 2 is going to kill the opposing character with 2 and have 4. And that's bad, especially on a character like Ghost Rider or Hulk or Doctor Strange or Thanos. Like, what do you do at that point? Thanos has 4 hammers. His strike does 10 and throws. You're like, nothing. You do nothing. So yeah, I think this should be avoided unless you're just super, super into highly aggressive games. If you're just into punching the shit out of each other and seeing who wins, this is your mission, man. Like, nothing's going to be better than this. But just be aware that the random chance of who gets hammers when will go a lot into determining the winner of the game.
Now that missions are random, it is one of the even ones. So if your skill level is with your opponent and you're exactly the same, and you generally play that kind of group, put it in there. Go for it. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. It's even. You have this. You roll more dice. It's super fun. All of that. It's a good one for that. It's 18 points. It's perfect. But what I can tell you, 99% of the time, people forget that your tactics cards are more expensive, and they never pay more for them while they have hammers.
Yeah.
It does have a drawback.
I catch that most of the time, but yeah, people forget. Because nobody plays it because of the things we talked about. So moving on to the next one. Mutant extremists target U.S. senators. This is a 14-point extract. Randomly place 3 safe house tokens on that are targets of priority, as shown on deployment Charlie. The senator tokens were 2 victory points in the cleanup phase. Interact with a safe house token. Turn it over and reveal the backside. If it has the senator on it, you have found the senator. If it has an X on it, it is a safe house. Remove the token either way. If it was the senator, remove both safe houses. Interact with the senator to pick it up. The character that found the senator starts with the token, and then the speed of the character holding the senator becomes short and rolls 1 less die on defense and dodge rolls. It's actually worse than Incinerate. Also because you can still be incinerated. And so this now enters into there's a potentially you could roll 4 less defense dice now in the game. Because you could be incinerated with the senator under bitter rivals and have ankle biter. And so you could reduce somebody from 5 dice to 1. Anyway, moving on. So anyone who hasn't played this before, it's kind of like 3-card Monty. You've randomly shuffled up the 3 tokens. One of them has the senator. 2 of them are safe houses. You place them randomly along the center line, and then as you interact with them, you turn them over and discard them. And if it was the senator, you discard the rest of the tokens as well. And if it was the senator, you start with the senator token. It's pretty cool. This is actually, I think, one of the more fair missions. As Parker was talking about earlier, reducing you to speed short makes it very hard to flee, but also reducing your defense dice makes it very hard to survive with it. That being said, it doesn't make you move only once, so you could move twice. So if you're already speed short, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah, that's one that I always fall for. I'll tend to jump out there and get it with that whatever character I feel is like the one that needs to activate next, and then I'll find the fucking thing, and all of a sudden,
and they'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm slow and vulnerable."
Yeah, Sabretooth is now slow, and hit 1 less die. You're like, "Oh my god, this is so bad."
Why did I do this? Yeah, this is one you really need to pay attention to. This is obviously a Toad pickup.
Yeah,
Toad wants to find this real bad, but unlike the other ones where you roll, the center token is in a specific place on the board. As we're on Alien Ship, you can choose where you find the token. So if your opponent puts their scary models on the right side of the board, you can just go to the left and check that one. Because if you roll the dice, it becomes over there. The senator is wherever the senator was by random chance. There's no other place you can find him. So this is like a weird Catch-22 one. Because it actually exists in reality as opposed to a hypothetical one. 14 points. I think this is one of only 2 14-point missions currently.
Yep. This and Wave.
Mm-hmm. So what's your guys' opinion on this? Do you guys like this mission? Do you think it's fair? I don't think this one's super abusable.
I like this one because you don't feel like you get screwed. You just go for it, and it's 1 and 3. Then it's 1 and 2, and then it's that one. You have, I mean, it's fine. Like, you don't feel like luck is just not on your side for some reason, and God hates you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes...
Anyone who's ever played Alien Ship or one of the other randomly roll for missions to find it, I think our record is 33 times we rolled and didn't find the fucking objective. It was so stupid. It was turn 4, we hadn't found the extract yet.
It's so crazy. Yeah, this one's nice and clean cut. Like, it just is what it is. It's fine.
I like it, but I think it is a little aggressive. The reducing your speed and defense dice is kind of rough. But, you know, like Parker said, the alien ship isn't really quite enough of a deterrent to not just run away with it. However, this one, if you do get away, they're never going to get you back, because why would you ever come back? They're just going to die.
Yep.
Yes, this one's scary.
I was going to say one thing that's kind of nice is placers, anybody who places, and stealth characters. So like Miles, for example, loves to pick up the Senator because then he starts then he places and is stealthy, so he doesn't really care about rolling until you.
Stealth helps. He has a reasonable defense even at only 2 dice. I like Toad because Toad can pick it up from farther away, move short, and hop. And so he's short +2/+2 away from the center line. It's pretty nice. He can also take it off of somebody. So, like, let's say you do pick it up on Sabretooth. Well, if you just move up Toad behind him, he pulls it off of him, and now Sabretooth is fine.
Yeah.
So Toad is really nice on this one. Quicksilver is kind of the one you want to avoid. Quicksilver doesn't like this one.
No.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's the Brotherhood one. It's just kind of funny.
I think...
so this one is kind of a thumbs up. Like, you can take this with any list, really, and I think you're probably okay. Obviously, you want to choose it with a list that wants to play 14 points, but this isn't a abusable mission, really.
I would say that I like this one for my rapid fire list because I don't mind if they pick it up because I go, okay, cool. Now my rapid fire has become super efficient. So I think I like this one because it, like, for the reasons we said, it feels pretty fair. It gives your opponent a pretty nice bonus. It's only, I think Web Warriors do have a little bit of a leg up here because Miles is great. They love playing 14 points. Like, there's a couple of reasons why Web Warriors might like this mission. But Web Warriors also like scoring more, and they only scores 2 per turn. So I'm not sure if they put it in their 3.
I think Web Warriors want a low scoring extract because it makes the
their dominance of blue.
The dominance on the secure side more impactful.
Right.
Because basically, if you look at it as if you were to play a mission where you can only score points off of blues, Web Warriors would win, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we pretty much all agree on that. Criminals are the only people that would even make it close, but I think Web Warriors still win.
Sure.
So if you look at it from that perspective, making an extract mission that only has one objective worth 2 points, well, you can only lower my ability counteract my scoring by 2 points. So if I'm scoring all 4 secures, I'm still winning. But they have Miles, who's good about going and getting objectives from people. And so they can even go and steal that, and they don't really want to fight over a bunch of extracts. I think they want to fight over as few as possible. And I've had pushback. Jake disagrees with me on this point. He thinks you want any even-numbered extracts. That way you can just split it and win the secure battle and just call it good. But I'm always worried that if my opponent just rolls well against me, I'll get dazed and my Web Warriors will drop their objectives. My opponent will gain an equally strong extraction advantage against my secure advantage. And so it's kind of just up to you, whatever your playstyle is or comfort zone is. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think I like the single extracts for my Web Warriors, personally.
I also like just having more options to get 14 points in Web Warriors, because, man, they love that 14 points.
Because also, if you think about it, if your opponent walks up and finds the Senator turn 1, and you just look at him like, oh, you're going to be in so much pain now, because you just start web lining him all the way across the table, and he's like, no! Like, he can't run away. He's slow.
And not only...
And then you just beat the shit out of him, because he's lower defense.
Right. And not only does Miles like to have it, he can also just take it. So
Yeah, you wouldn't even use Venom Blast. You just beat the fuck out of
Yeah.
him. It's like, webline kick, your head comes off. Oops, hey, look, I found a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more extract, and then we'll call it for today, because we had such a long intro today. And we'll finish up extracts next week instead of secures. Sound good, guys?
deal.
Let's go.
All right. Final one for today. Everyone's favorite classic standard mission that everyone plays. Mystic Wakandan Herbs, fact or fiction?
Fact.
15-point extraction. Place 2 herb assets into the central points as deployed on map Alpha. Place 2 vessels as target opportunities on the far points on map Alpha. Interact with an herb token, pick it up. A character holding an herb token cannot perform more than 1 move action per turn. Sound familiar? Adds 1 die to its physical attack rolls. Interesting. That's also a little bit like the Worthy. I don't think I've ever done that anytime I've ever played one of these.
Yeah, I did not. I don't even remember it.
Nobody knows that happens.
Yeah.
And the character gains the immunity to slow and stagger superpowers.
Oh,
Herbs placed furthest from the player's board edge and vessels placed closest to the player's board edge are friendly to that character, or that player. And then scoring, this is a very interesting one. A player scores 4 victory points if an allied character holding their herb token is contesting their vessel in the cleanup phase. So this is literally like capture the flag. You have to cross the table. On your far left, there's an herb token that belongs to you. You have to pick it up and move back across the table to the opposite corner, your close right side. You can only move once per turn while doing so. So characters like Ghost Rider or Miles are all really good at this. Someone who's fast that can also move or place an additional time per turn.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man's not bad. So you need to cross all the way back, and then in the cleanup phase, if you're contesting the closest point to your back right corner, you score 4 points. So this is one that a lot of people try and play as a non-scenario, because it's very difficult to accomplish this feat, especially if you're trying to stop them. Because if you play somebody, you can't pick up, actually, I think this might have been errated or FAQ'd, because people have said that you cannot interact with your friendly herb, or the herb that's friendly to your enemy, if it's like close to your board edge. And so you can't pick it up before they get a chance to go get it. But if you have a character like Black Cat, you can burglary it off of them, so that they would have to then daze them to get it back, and you just run away with it. So then they have to go catch you, track you down, kill you, pick up the token, and walk 1 move action at a time all the way back across the table again. It's super easy to counter someone scoring this. So a lot of people try and play it as a non-scenario. It's a 15-point extract that you basically can't score. Speaking of, I should probably start playing this with Web Warriors. That would be such a kick in the pants. It's like, oh, I found it, webline. No! Move, webline, move, webline, move, webline. This is the worst! They're like trying to run away and you just keep dragging them back. But you can play this much like the Deadly Legacy Virus, where you sell out your list to accomplish this, and you score a crazy amount of points really fast.
Yep. You can go either way. That's one reason I
Jeremy,
like it.
how many times have you scored herbs? Like, what percentage of games on herbs do you score it?
17 divided by 0 times 0. 0. I've never scored
You've never
it.
scored this?
I've always
got it once.
Fucked, because every time my opponent will score it on me. Or nothing. I never get to do it.
I think I scored it my first time when I played against John, I want to think it was, way back when. This is like this was pre-lockdown. I scored it, but it was like end of the game, didn't matter. Like, I was so high up on attrition, I was like, screw this, I'm going to get points. And Captain America, like, waddled his slow ass all the way across the board to score it. And I was like, the last turn, I was like, I'm just not going to kill your character so that I can get 4 points. It's like, okay. Like, it is completely irrelevant to the game. Once against you, Jeremy, I almost scored it, but I forgot. I think I moved twice, because I forgot that you can only move once. I think I scored it with Vision, and he shouldn't have been able to. Someone brought that up on one of our battle reports, is that he said I moved twice, and I think he's right. Parker, have you ever scored a Wakandan herb?
Yep. Inhumans have a weird...
Lockjaw.
Yeah.
You just call it Lockjaw.
Well, it's actually Lockjaw plus Quicksilver. So they have.
Okay.
So what
Just
happened?
the speed longer?
So yes. So basically, what happened the first turn of the game is Lockjaw plays Quicksilver, so he was forward. Then I moved once with Quicksilver. No, I used his power because
Speedster.
I speedster with
move
Quicksilver.
Lockjaw.
Interacted. Did a basic attack, and the little thing went off. So I got to move.
Dash.
I got to dash.
Yeah,
then I
sucked.
moved long, and so on turn 2, I was back at my point.
Defenders, I think, have the best game into it, because if you do the math on portals plus Hell on Wheels, it's like automatic. Like Ghost Rider just gets it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it was. It felt pretty good to do that, but I got everything to line up. You got to have.
Yeah.
And I didn't sell out for it, but I did have it as one of mine.
I mean, you had probably the second best combo of characters in the game.
Yeah.
Not because you were selling out, but because you were just randomly playing Inhumans.
Yeah.
Did you play Wakandan Herbs intentionally, or did your opponent choose it?
No, I picked it because.
So you knew that you had the strong combo and you abused it. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's not selling out, but I would argue that anytime you intentionally play Inhumans, you're selling out something, like maybe your soul or like dignity, maybe.
I will say this: putting down Lockjaw and Quicksilver in an Inhumans roster didn't feel like selling out because they commonly go down anyway. But the fact that it was like I got Wakandan Herbs, was like, okay, we'll try this, and it worked.
But I mean, your strategy of gameplay was dramatically changed because of what mission you were playing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think.
So I wouldn't call that necessarily selling out, but that's as close as you can get to selling out that there is. It was just because you didn't actually spend any resources. It was just convenient.
Yeah, I think it's this one is usually a non. Usually it's a non one.
Usually a non scenario.
I've picked it up before and had the ability to go get it, but here's the other thing about this: if you do the math on a regular character, most characters in the game, it's not physically possible to get there before like turn 4 or some nonsense.
Yeah.
So
if you do the math, like a double move on a medium speed character can't get there.
Right.
The original broken way was you used Hela and Gamma Launch. So Hulk would throw Hela turn 1. You would, and then there was something else first. It was like you tactical analysis with Vision. And Hela would walk forward short. And then Hulk would throw her range 5. She would pick it up and move medium. Oh, no, that's what it was. She would activate... Hulk would throw it forward. Or throw Hela forward. She would activate, move medium, interact, and then Thor would he threw Thor. Sorry. Thor would move medium, pick it up. Avengers Assemble backwards. And Hela would move up, and you would play mission objective to transfer it. And then Hela would move over to the other point. It was really convoluted. It took like 3 characters and a shitload of power. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway. This one is one you have to be careful on. Make sure your opponent isn't like playing a lot of placing models that can move while they have extracts. Like, for example, Lockjaw and Quicksilver, or portals and defenders, or Ghost Rider, stuff like that. But it's generally pretty safe most times. So I think this is one that you can try and if you're trying to play a low scoring extract mission, this is an option. Just be aware that there are people in the game that really abuse this mission.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very rare to see them in a random chance.
It also takes an incredible amount of time and energy to set up. By the way,
it does.
And
it can be easily countered, like we were talking about. Like if you just have like a Black Cat or a Quicksilver or someone with Webline, you can break it up really easily.
Oh.
So what a lot of people will try and do on this one is at the end of a turn they'll double move and stand on it, because you can't move twice. So they want to start within range to pick it up so that they can then move immediately after. And all you do is you just push them off the point, and then they have to move back and pick it up, and they can't move again. And so it slows them down by an entire turn.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it is it's so silly, because even if you pick it up, and let's say you're a regular move long character, I think it's a regular move long character double moves, picks it up, moves once, moves one more time. I don't think that's close enough. So it's like 4, right?
Assuming your opponent doesn't do anything.
Yeah, let's say
turn
nothing
1
happens.
You double move. Turn 2 you pick it up, move, turn 3, turn 4, move again, maybe scored at the end of 4.
Yeah.
If your opponent does nothing.
Right.
Scored
So,
at the end of 4.
Congratulations, you scored 4 victory points because your opponent never decided to touch you while you walked across the center of the board. And
well, you literally walk like to their deployment zone, and then walk diagonally across the center of the table.
Yeah, there's like it's so. And here's the thing: as soon as your opponent, like you said, has any throw or advance you or push you or place you or anything,
any of that stuff,
anything, you're now doing it till turn 5. So on turn 5, you might score
or
4
they
victory
just
points.
attack you.
Or they just
attack you.
Yeah.
You drop it. They place it outside of range 1. Obviously, you have to move back to it, pick it up, and stand there again.
Yes.
Like it's so hard.
So the point is, unless you have something that you're purposely trying to do it, like Lockjaw or Ghost Rider or Amazing Spider-Man or something that can make it actually happen, that is really silly to try.
Oh man, I just realized what Kitty Pryde's gonna do when she comes to the game. Shadowcat, she's just gonna have a base with no stat line. She's gonna be intangible the entire game, and she's just gonna walk up, pick up the herb, and slowly walk across the table. She has no rules, no stats, but she can't be attacked because she has no stats. She's just gonna wander across the fucking table, invisible, basically.
We already have a character that can lower his density, and he could die like a bitch. So I don't think Shadowcat's gonna be involved.
Well, he's just not as good at it.
Right, that's his problem.
Well, he's not a mutant.
That's right. He is not a mutant. He's just a robot. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our mission discussion today. We'll come back with the rest of the extracts next week.
I learned something.
Did you? What'd you learn?
Oh, I learned.
Stop playing with
Dynamite.
Legacy Cure?
I'm not lying. I have been playing with my current list doesn't have Legacy Cure in it, but I was playing with it for a while because it had the number 19 on it. I didn't care anything else. But that was a bad idea. I should have been willing to play a point up or down and not give my opponent easy wins because of that.
Well, now that you have 3 different point costs for Wolverine, maybe you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know why I messed up the formatting on my document. That's weird. Alrighty. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Hopefully you guys had a good time. This has been Brandon.
And Dr. Mantis Dwogan, MD.
And Wolverines.
Wolverines.
I hate them.
Nice. Wolverines. And you have just listened to a podcast in crisis. So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
So yeah, we're going to do a entirely Chiefs podcast. That's all we're going to talk about is Chiefs stuff and how awesome the Chiefs are.
And go.
Go. Oh, I mean, I could talk for 3 hours about this last game.
Oh my god. Ugh. I mean, that shit is magic, right? Like, that's the stuff that, your granddad would talk about when he talked about going and he saw, fucking Mickey Mantle. And he saw the one where he hit it out of the ballpark and everybody went and wait, that's from Good Will Hunting. However.
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously, that was a story to be made that will be told forever. Mm-hmm. So epic.
Yeah. That has immediately become the, go-to, example of, what happens when you are the, that's, superhero levels of, what is it, legend almost. You can't compare that to other games because of how absolutely insane it was. Did you guys see the win probability graph?
Yes, that was insane.
It's it kind of follows 50-50 most of the game. It spikes a little bit in between all the scores like it does. And then it hits the 2-minute warning and it literally just hits is Pong bouncing off the roof and the ceiling back and forth.
Yep.
It's who's going to win? Bing, 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 bing. Oh my God.
It was It was truly like watching World Series of Poker, and each card that
Mhm.
dropped, it was like, he's got a flush. He's got a higher flush. He's got a
Mhm.
royal flush.
Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
That's like when I was trying to tell what's his name to just try, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what?
That's
We could
what you
win if
guys-
you would just fucking try.
If you just try, anything could happen. Just put effort forward. So that article I linked in the football chat
Hmm.
is a guy named Seth Kaiser. He's a lifelong Chiefs fan, but he's also a film analyst. And so he's an amateur film analyst. He didn't used to, well, he's not, he's professional now, but he for a long time was just an amateur film analyst. He would watch the coach's film and break down the game and analyze players. But he's been doing it for over 10 years now, so now he's actually like really good at it. And he got hired by The Athletic, and I think Sports Illustrated has him do a column now. But so he's getting pretty famous, but he's just a really good guy too. Like he's a family guy, and like so his son like videoed him watching the final seconds of the Super Bowl, and literally he's just crying and hugging his other son. Like he was like so happy that the Chiefs finally got there. But anyway, he was breaking down Patrick Mahomes' film, and he's like, there is no such thing as a perfect game in football, right? Like a player cannot have a perfect game. There's always, it's just the nature of the beast. Like there's so much going on. You can always do something better. But he's like, this is the closest a quarterback has ever played a perfect game in the history of like football, like ever. He's like, he charted like, cause a lot of his incompletes were drops or throwaways. Like there's only like 2 passes he made that were off target the entire game.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was so good.
It was something else, man. At Rock and Brews, it was completely exploding. Like, it was fucking crazy. First off, watching the game before it and cheering and booing and cheering that was pretty fun. And after that one ended, it was nice. It felt pretty good. It was a good start.
Yeah.
It's like, see you later, buddy. And then
Get out of here.
oh,
Tired of your shit.
did you see the meme? It's the Step Brothers picture, and they call
Yeah.
it Couch Brothers.
I'm the one that sent
Oh,
that
yeah.
to you.
No.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Dude, I've seen so many memes. There's no way to know who sent what to who.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just a C. I love the one I sent you about Step Brothers was, you're dead. I saw you died. He's
Oh,
like,
no, I saw
was
that.
faking.
yeah.
I used ninja training to slow my heart rate.
Yeah, the other one was Couch Brothers, and it showed them both sitting there they were like on the couch together, having to watch the game. One of my favorites, and I don't remember who did this one. It could be you, but it was Pornhub.
Yeah, that was one of mine. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. It was a good one. Was that on Messenger? I think I sent that to you.
There's no telling.
Yeah. Here, let's see. Constance.
Not.
I assume you don't care if I say your real name, right?
No, it's fine.
Just confirming.
It's on. My real name is on Discord and also Facebook and everywhere.
I figured. Yeah.
That's my.
It's like you don't give a shit.
No.
How did I send this? I must have posted it in just the.
Oh,
football
it's just
chat.
in the
I
football
totally
point.
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man fucks entire city.
Man fucks entire city of Buffalo in 13 seconds.
Yeah, and like, the girl I was with truly loves football, man. Like seriously, like intensely loves football. It was such a good time.
So, you and her are getting season tickets, right? Might be a little early to make that call.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Here's a crazy stat. For the entire postseason, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, when targeted by passing, have 158.1 quarterback rating. He missed the maximum by 0.2. And you know they're getting double teamed on like every play.
Oh
So
man,
funny.
I'm so excited about this next Sunday game. It's not going to be half as good.
I don't think it will. I don't think it can be.
No.
Like, can you imagine if there's 3 of these games or 2 of these games in a row? Holy shit.
Dude, did you watch all the other games last weekend?
People are saying it was the greatest weekend of football.
They were so
ever.
good. Like every game.
Yeah, so good.
Every game.
Well, actually, the Rams-Bucks game was not actually a good game. The Rams just tried as hard as they could to have diarrhea all over themselves in the middle of the fourth quarter. It was like, what the fuck? It's like 4 consecutive fumbles, one of which was like untouched. You're
Dude,
like, come on.
There was no pass interference flags all weekend except when they needed it. They're like, come on, buddy, we're going to let you back in this game.
Mhm.
Oh my god, it was so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't think games are truly rigged, but I do think that there's a narrative the NFL tries to push because their goal is to get ratings and market share.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes when it's like the team that's massively popular that everyone wants to see is losing, they tend to get the calls, and or the up and comers will tend to get the calls. And I'm like, okay, guys, come on. And there's also a bit of a narrative where they try and keep games close. If you ever watch it, the leaders, like if you're up 2 scores, you don't get flags. Period. Like not at all. And the other team will get flags even when it's not there sometimes. And so I think that's a little intentional because, competitive games are, make better ratings and, keep it close for the spread, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Seriously.
I think there's a little bit of that. It's not ham-handed, but sometimes it looks bad. And the problem is if you make a truly bad call, but from your perspective, you just didn't have a good angle on it, and you throw the flag at a bad time, and it plays into that narrative, it just looks so much worse. It looks like you're trying to fix the game. And so I get that the refs have a hard job, but some of them are truly bad.
There's been a lot to do about refs this year.
Yeah.
Did you see the?
No, this has
little-
been the second worst year of reffing ever. The worst year was the lockout year when they were on strike, and they literally hired amateur refs.
Oh my god.
And they had what they called the Fail Mary, which is they threw up a jump ball in the end zone, and the receiver and the defender came down with it like at the same time. They called it an interception.
What?
Yeah, one ref signals touchdown, and the ref standing next to him points turnover. It's just like, what?
The Fail Mary.
Carl loves to talk about that one because it was it changed the outcome of the game, and the Cowboys lost.
I'm gonna say it was probably a Cowboys game.
Yeah. It was bad. Yeah, of course it was a Cowboys game. I wonder if there's a good picture of it. Fail Mary. Here's a picture. Oh boy. Oh god, there's not a much better picture than that. This looks staged. It doesn't even look like a real photo. It's so bad. Here, I'm going to post it in the chat. So yeah, one ref is pointing turnover, the other ref is signaling touchdown, and the guys are hand fighting for the ball. It's so bad. This isn't the Cowboys one. This is a different one.
That looks like Photoshop. It's not?
It looks Photoshopped. Yeah, it's not Photoshop. This is what happened in a real game.
Wow.
This was during the ref strike, and they had just random dudes in there. Anyway, fun football stuff. So what should we actually talk about today? Because I will keep going.
I mean, the only thing
That's some minor news.
Something that I find interesting every time I build a list and every time I get to the table is tactics cards. I know you only get to pick 2 that even matter, but it always seems like that's the most colorful part of the game anymore. And I don't know if there's something there to it, like what... And they're so impactful. Like, tactics cards are crazy impactful.
Do you want to talk about, like, tactics cards? Because I don't think we're ready for that. I want to give it a little bit more time and kind of let things... I guess one thing that we could talk about is, should they go to 1 restricted card, maybe? Is 2 too many?
Maybe.
Because I think 1, now, regardless of what list you're playing, it's a discussion.
I know now that they've given...
It's no longer obvious.
Yeah.
Because MedPack and field dressing pair so well together that it's like, it's hard to get out of that rut. But even if you go like, well, I'm doing field dressing brace because I'm playing convocation, my physical defense sucks. I get that, but that's just going to immediately change as soon as the new card comes out. And then you're going to play field dressing MedPack and what is it called? What's the new Colossus card called?
Oh, what is that one called?
It's like the can't be thrown thing.
Yeah.
Resilient or something like that.
I want to say domination. It's not domination. It's something like...
Indomitable.
There we go.
Indomitable. That sounds
Parker,
right.
I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, Parker's quiet.
Is that better now? Test.
Oh, were you chewing ice?
No. I wasn't. Wait, hold on. I should still muted? No, I was muted for a second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Am I really quiet still to you?
No, you sound okay now.
Test.
You are still quiet.
Quieter than you normally are.
Yeah.
I am not doing anything different. Let me check.
Jeremy, sound check.
Sound check 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Jeremy's like 30% louder than you.
Let me see.
Check your mic volume. Make sure it's at 90. You should be able to see it from Audacity. There's a mic volume meter.
It's at 100 right now, which is not.
That should not be at 100.
Test. Is that quieter?
It's about
Same.
the same.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
put it down to 90.
Is it? I mean, it's recording off of your headset,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
Parker, check the volume on your headset. Is there a volume?
A mic volume.
Is there a
on
mic
headset?
volume on your headset?
Oh wait.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. It's this.
It's
Yep.
this.
It was this. I found it.
Go down. Go down.
Go
Go
down.
down. Why?
It's
Go,
big.
go about 2/3 that.
Test.
Jeremy, sound check.
Sounds good. Sounds 1, 2, 3.
Parker, go up 10%.
Checking sound check. Checking
Right
sound.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Fucking.
Don't move
awesome.
that dial.
Got it. I think I brushed it with my hand when I was trying to mute because it's near the mute
Yeah.
button.
Yeah. It's near the idiot button.
Yeah.
Which you're just fucking jamming at all times.
All the idiots all the time.
So here's some generic ones we've talked about before. Top 3 models in the meta today. That was a fun one. Best character combos, like characters that pair well that aren't obvious. We could talk about mission breakdown. I feel like we're getting pretty close to that finally happening because of how important missions are with the random flips.
Yeah.
You want to talk about missions? We haven't talked about missions in a while. I mean, we've ranted about missions.
I was gonna
Like
say,
what
can
kind of
we
format?
do it?
Like what?
Can
what
we
you
do
think?
it without talking about how much we don't like that it's random?
Yeah. So what I was talking about basically is we could just go through each mission one by one and talk about why you should play it, why you should not play it, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's a good chunky one. Or we could do extracts this time and secures next time.
Yeah. Do we want to
Does
do
sound
like
good.
who's the best at it and who's the worst at it? Like, don't do this one.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And I think it's more relevant now because you have less control, like we've talked about before. So I think it'll be important. Yeah, I like that. Let's do extracts this time and secures next time. That'll be good content, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's something that a lot of folks, especially in our meta, the people that play with us, don't have a clue about. Like, it's very.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some of these are such a big deal, and people don't realize it. And just because you're winning on it doesn't mean you should have. Like, there's some
Right.
stuff going on that's like real bad lately. Like,
Yeah, like for example, I saw John play, I think it was 3 games in a row with Ghost Rider and got to play Worthy because everyone was running Worthy that day. And I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? He's going to win. Like, he's got Ghost Rider. Why are you letting Ghost Rider play on Worthy? It's not okay.
oh my god, he hits so hard with hammers
Yeah.
from so
And
far
Parker
away.
Parker knows how hard it is to stop Ghost Rider with hammers.
Yeah.
And you were even able to teleport to him, and it was still almost impossible.
I want to see a three hammer Ghost Rider have to do his tactics card for 7.
Who cares? Everyone's dead. Who's
That's
attacking
true.
him?
Oh my god.
I would like to do penance stare. Please defend against 13 Mystic. You're like, what? It's like, it fucked. Here's my spray attack for like fucking 8 or 9 dice. You're like, oh my god. It's a good thing that he can't line that up really easily. Oh wait, shit.
I don't know that 8 health's okay with that dude, man.
It's a lot of health.
I think that they've
They definitely went too far.
he's
on
he's
him.
a serious aggro model now, man. That guy is so
Yeah.
aggro.
I think just changing his power collection thing was enough. I think they went overboard with the hit points.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it because we have a pretty chunky topic today, and then if we have time after, we'll talk about Chief stuff.
All right.
Sound good?
Deal.
Oh my god.
That was a good one. Do you guys like that?
I liked it.
I liked it. Oh boy. So have you guys seen the episode of Always Sunny when Frank tries to retire?
From
Is that when he gets sewed into the couch?
No.
no,
That is not when
That's
he
the
gets thrown
Christmas
into the
episode.
couch. That's the Christmas episode.
Oh.
No, he decides to retire from being part of the gang.
Oh,
Yeah, it's one of the funniest episodes of the entire show. It's fucking hysterical.
Is that where he goes to another gang and I'm a man? Cheetah?
No,
Is that
that's
one?
when they kick him out.
Oh,
They kick him out of the gang. No, he tries to retire from owning the bar. And so immediately they're like, wait, Frank's leaving? And he's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done with this. I'm going to go retire. And he just walks out of the bar and like doesn't talk to anybody. And so Dennis and Dee immediately go, okay, well, we're his children, so we inherit the bar. Like, we own the bar again. And then Mac and Charlie are like, you guys aren't his kids. We've already established this. Like, you guys are not related to that man. He's like, yeah, but he raised us, so it counts. Like, so they basically get into this giant like war between the gang over who's going to own the bar. And so, because they can't revert back to the original ownership because Charlie ate all of his shares. Anyway. And so that gets to the point where was I going with this? I totally forgot it. Oh yeah. Mac is trying to basically win between Charlie and the siblings, because there's this theory that Charlie is actually Frank's son at one point in the show, and so they're like, which of you is actually related to this person and who's going to get the bar? And so Mac is clearly playing both sides, right? It's extremely obvious. He's not hiding at all. And at one point, he actually just says, no, you see, I'm playing both sides. So no matter what happens, I come out on top. And they're like, you shouldn't tell us that because we know you're going to screw us over at first opportunity. And he's like, should I not have said that? What if we swear a blood oath? And he like holds out his hand. He has this really gruesome cut where he tried to swear a blood oath with Charlie earlier.
Oh,
He's
God.
like, let me just open up. So he grabs the lemon knife off the counter and just slices his fucking hand back open. He immediately starts screaming. He's like, oh, that was the lemon knife. It was pretty funny.
Oh my God.
So yeah, someone was using the I'm playing both sides meme because of stuff that was happening in the Chiefs game. Anyway, it's funny.
Cool. All right, I'm tired. Let's wrap this up.
You're tired?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done for as well.
Wow, you guys do seem really tired.
Yeah, I have to cook at work now. Like, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm in between fucking hiring people.
Oh yeah? You hiring new people? That's
Yep.
always rough.
Yep.
The fun part is when you get to fire them the next day, though.
No, the joy of firing people has left me a long time ago. I'm
Oh, yeah.
numb.
You guys like rock music, right?
Sure.
Do you know which rock group has 4 members, but none of them sing?
I hate
Mount
you so
Rushmore.
much. I hate you so much.
I knew
Mount
as soon as you
Rushmore.
said that, I was like, it's got to have something to do with actual rocks.
You guys were trying to hurry up and get out of here, so you made me force it in there.
Oh, I liked it. This is a good joke.
I could have gone with this one. Why can't blind people eat fish? Because it's seafood.
Oh my God.
Parker's actually laughing.
I like that one.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys.